presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
After a most frustrating series against the Giants, it was Derek Norris and Christian Bethancourt both going deep for the Padres as they powered up. Game 1 is in the books. The Padres win. Game 2 is next on Fox Sports San Diego. Upton to right center field to the warning track, and it is gone! Two-run home run! Walk it off, Melvin Upton Jr. An electric night last night at Petco Park for Game 1 of the series. We welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Mark Grant. Welcome to Padres Baseball. Well, tonight the Padres will try to take some of the momentum from last night, and certainly looking back last night, Mud, at last night's game, you take a look at the at-bats, and certainly they were better.
It was electric last night. I tell you what, they worked the counts, they got some fat pitches, and they crushed some mistakes. Now, when you look at the turnaround last night, those are great numbers. The previous three, remember the games against the Giants? They faced darn good pitching, but pitchers with a little bit of deception, which I think disrupted the timing. I think last night was pretty just basic pitchers coming at you and crushing mistakes, and that was evident. But this is the best reason why baseball is the best reality show on TV. If you didn't stick around for last night's game, you really missed something special.
It was a lot of fun last night, and certainly Cesar Vargas has to deal with the Dodgers in Game 2 tonight.
Yeah, well, he's faced them before, so he's going off the scouting reports. He got a chance to watch them last night, and Cesar Vargas, he throws about 91 miles an hour. He has to rely on hitting the outside corner and the inside corner. Now, Chase Utley left-handed. They'll bury the fastball in. He'll throw the changeup. Also, the breaking ball down and in. So if he can counter Utley, Gonzalez with that breaking ball and stay out of the heart of the plate, hey, maybe he'll have more than 6 strikeouts. But the one thing about him, he has to stay out of the heart of the plate to be effective.
He has already faced the Dodgers, as you know. He'll be matched up against Alex Wood. Well, a guy on fire right now is Melvin Upton Jr. He's had a great May. Michelle Margot will delve into it when we come back right after this. Baseball brought to you by Infinity. Visit your local San Diego area Infinity retailer for a test drive today. By Petco, your complete pet store. By Kona Brewing Company, enjoy a longboard lager or a big wave golden ale tonight. And by Pinnacle on the Park, make your new home here. Visit pinnacleonthepark.com for details. A great night last night for the Padres. Cesar Vargas trying to keep it going tonight. Last night's hero was Melvin Upton Jr. With more, we send it down to field level and Michelle Margot.
Thank you so much, Don. Yeah, a huge part in last night's win. Melvin Upton Jr., who hit that walk-off home run. Here's Andy Green talking about his value to the team.
He's been outstanding. Like, I don't know what else he needs to do to people start to notice what he's been doing around here. He's been outstanding. He's played Gold Glove caliber defense. He's gotten huge hits repetitively. Like, you look up, and most of the big hits that have occurred for us this year, it's been him.
One of the things that has impressed me the most the last couple of years since he's gone over here is the fact that he's become, a veteran leader, helping the guys out in the clubhouse, and just really having fun with the game again.
Hitting coach Alan Zinter also added how hard Upton Jr. has been working on his setup and his swing, so it's good to see it pay off. When we come back, Cesar Vargas on the hill for the Padres against Alex Wood and the Dodgers.
The battle in Southern California. A home run has given the Dodgers a lead.
Gone! Two-run home run! Walk it off, Melvin Upton Jr.
Alex Wood face off against Cesar Vargas.
The game two is right now as Will Myers and the Padres about to take the field behind Cesar Vargas for game two of the series in this battle for Southern California as the Padres take game one in dramatic fashion. It's time now for the tools of the trade brought to you by Ram Trucks.
And with Cesar Vargas towing the slab this inning against the Dodgers, or this evening I should say, let's check out the curveball, because he's pitching against a pretty darn good hitter by the name of Adrian Gonzalez back up in LA. Getting ahead and then bouncing the curveball, but throwing early in the count to set that curveball up. If you throw it early in the count for a strike, you can bounce it. If you can locate it, it'll be even better, and some magic happening right there. Signing some autographs for those youngsters before he takes on the Dodgers.
Well, Cesar Vargas now ready to get to work as we check out the Dodgers lineup brought to you by Hyundai. Leading it off and at second base is Chase Utley with Corey Seager at shortstop batting second. Justin Turner at third base with Adrian Gonzalez back in the lineup. Had not been in the starting lineup for 4 straight games. Of course, came into last night's game late. Trace Thompson will be in left field with John Peterson in center field. Yasiel Puig in right. Yasmani Grandal does the catching. And Alex Wood out of the 9th spot bats 9th. Defensively, in behind Cesar Vargas. Padres defense brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Left to right across the outfield, it is Melvin Upton Jr., John Jay, and Matt Kemp. Third to first, Brett Wallace, Alexei Ramirez, Adam Rosales, and Will Myers. Doing the catching tonight for Vargas is Norris. As the Padres defensively get ready, and on the mound is Cesar Vargas.
Errorless baseball last night for the Padres, helping them in that win. And as I mentioned, something really special happened last night, and that momentum should carry over today. These guys are excited to get game 2 underway.
64 degrees, sun setting in San Diego, and mostly cloudy the forecast for the remainder of the night. Some blue skies above the stadium right now. Lights are already on, and a good crowd on hand here tonight. As the Dodgers in their road grays, the Padres in their home whites.
I love the All-Star unis that the Padres are wearing tonight, commemorating the 2016 All-Star game right here at Petco Park.
Chase Utley about to get it started here as he stands in on the left side. Vargas ready to work here to the Dodgers. Has already faced them once, no decision in his first outing against Los Angeles. That was in Los Angeles. And now he'll face them here at Petco Park. Utley came off the bench last night, a .290 average, 2 homers, 10 runs batted in. And a grounder on one bounding ball to first that Myers will take himself for the first out of the game. 1 pitch, 1 out.
I was just about to say that Chase Utley is one of those hitters that if you try to get ahead with that fastball, he's going to be all over it. And Cesar Vargas, he's on pace to throw in 27 pitches tonight.
You're right.
Yeah.
I find it highly unlikely, but you're right. 1 down here in the first inning. Corey Seager, .288, 7 homers, 22 runs batted in. Seager will also swing at the first pitch. Hey, he's on track now for 27 pitches still.
25 more. Well, Cesar Vargas does not throw that hard, so that enables him to get in a good fielding position. This high chopper, he makes it look easy.
2 down here in the first inning. I guess the scouting report is to be aggressive with Vargas that first pitch. Here is Justin Turner.
I'll bet you $1 million that he takes the first pitch.
I will not take that bet because I think he will too.
Yeah.
And I also don't have $1 million.
I don't either.
Takes it and there's a strike.
Oh man.
Turner hits a .234, 2 homers, 11 runs driven in as Dave Roberts looking on, new manager of the Dodgers. Trying times right now for Dave Roberts and the Dodgers. They have had some tough times lately. Of course, they swept the Padres here at Petco Park, first series of the year. They have lost 5 of their last 6 games, and the bullpen has allowed 16 runs in 18 and a third innings over the last 6 games. Turner double checking with the home plate umpire Chris Guccione on that call. David Rackley at first, Larry Vanover at second, and Alfonso Marquez, the umpire, at third.
A nice located fastball. We talked about it earlier. That looks like a little cutter on the outside corner.
Swing and a miss. How about the start for Vargas? Down in order are the Dodgers. The Padres are coming up from Petco Park. the first. As we check out the Padres starting nine, brought to you by Toyota. John Jay leading it off and in center field with Will Myers at first base, Matt Kemp in right, Melvin Upton Jr., last night's hero, in left field in the cleanup spot with Derek Norris doing the catching. Brett Wallace at third base with Alexei Ramirez at shortstop. Adam Rosales at second base bats eighth, and Cesar Vargas, the pitcher, out of the 9 spot.
And Alex Wood, the left-hander for the Dodgers on the hill. His scouting report is brought to you by Scripps. He's got the fastball, curveball, changeup. He's not overpowering by any means. Anywhere from 87 to 93. He averages about 90 on that fastball. Tries to work down, and to righties, that curveball down by the back foot. Kind of a funky delivery as well.
Yeah. We saw him at Dodger Stadium earlier this year. And a no decision in his last start. Dodgers went on to lose that game 5-2. That was against the St. Louis Cardinals. As Jay fouls it back to the screen. Wood has not won a start since April the 13th. And since then has gone 0-2 with a 4.05 earned run average in 6 starts since then. This is line foul down the left field line. It's 1-2.
Seems to work quickly. That's one thing I remember about him up in Los Angeles. He likes to get that rock and get ready to shoot rock fire.
Jay, Myers, and Kemp here in the bottom of the first inning. Second year of the Dodgers after being acquired in an 8-player trade with the Atlanta Braves. The trade deadline of 2015. 4th major league season, 2nd with LA, and a start for Cesar Vargas looking on from the Padres dugout. Fouled at the dish, and it hangs at 2-2 here to John Jay.
Well, we talked about Alex Wood's motion. It's funky, a little bit of deception. Look at the long stride. I mean, he gets out there. Looks like he's looking up in the stands too, almost like James Shields a little bit. But once you get that target in your mind, you know exactly where you're going. Drive towards home plate.
In there for a strike. Jay Newitt takes with him the first K for Alex Wood.
Well, for Alex Wood, home is where the heart is. Look at on the left, the home record and the numbers. His kryptonite being on the road. Look at that ERA. Opponents hitting .318. In 19 innings pitched, 27 hits, 8 walks, a lot of base runners, and I think that's a big key, Don Orsillo, is to get Alex Wood into the stretch. And the long ball was a big key for the Padres last night. And you know what? For Alex Wood, has not given up a lot of home runs. No homers allowed in 4 career starts versus San Diego.
Well, Myers 0 for 4 in his career against Wood. Fouls the first pitch off to the right. Let me ask you, as a former pitcher, how big a deal and how much of a difference is it to know your home ballpark, your home mound, and how much better is it?
It's huge. Even from, think about it, even when you're a kid, you're in high school, you get used to your home field, and then you have to travel on the bus somewhere, you go somewhere, and it's not the same surroundings. I think it's same at any level, college, high school, minor leagues, big leagues. Your clubhouse, and it starts when you wake up in the morning, I think, too. I think that affects a lot of pitchers. You're in your regular routine, waking up in the same place at home, you do the same restaurant, see the same people, your comfort zone. So I can see where that comes into play.
You're also talking about depth perception from behind home plate and what that looks like too.
Here at Petco Park, I would have to imagine that home plate looks closer than at Dodger Stadium because there's still a lot of foul territory at Dodger Stadium. And with that said, it gives you the illusion that there's a lot of space.
Peterson back in center to reel that liner in off the bat of Myers. Struck well. He's got nothing to show for it. Frustrating fashion. 2 down.
I mean, it's just like you. You're a much better announcer here at Petco Park than on the road. It's horrible.
There's no
Your
question.
numbers are horrible on the road.
My splits are horrendous.
I've been trying to tell you all year. I know it's been early in the year, but still, you got to make an adjustment on the road.
I know. I got to figure it out because it's a problem.
We got a road trip coming up after tomorrow. So
we go to San Francisco. We go to Arizona. We go to Seattle. I'm comfortable in Seattle. I've done a lot of games in Seattle.
I think you're coachable, and I think you can make an adjustment.
I get better? Awesome. But I'll tell you what, I do like home surroundings. I mean, you know your booth.
Absolutely.
You know where your monitor is going to be.
Yeah.
You know where you're going to sit. Your view. 2 down here in the first. Matt Kemp, the former Dodger, batting. Close pitch, but inside.
I'd like to see Matty pick it up, huh?
No doubt. He's got good numbers against Wood. 5 for 9, 556 with a double and a home run. You're right, hitting at just 121 in the last 15 games. Swinging a foul tip. Has him down 1-2.
You know, you make an interesting point with those numbers, the last 15 games at 121. Let's see if he tries to concentrate on going the big part of the diamond, right center field. If, in fact, Wood tries to throw him soft away and fastballs away. Jock Peterson on the first base side of second base, playing a deep center field. Oh, he's coming inside here.
Kemp gets out of the way and takes the strike over the inside corner. Got a call against him there from Guccione. He doesn't like it, says some stuff. Scoreless after 1.
Just his poise, you know, his poise. I mean, you know, being young and obviously a rookie, you know, going into Dodger Stadium and doing what he did over there is he's mature beyond his years, and you know, he's done a great job for us going in, and you know, obviously he solidified himself into the rotation here.
Well, Vargas is looking for his first win of the season so far, and the best start of his career has come against the Dodgers, so we'll see what he can do tonight, guys.
All right, Michelle, thanks very much. He mentioned poise, and that is something that we have talked a lot about. It's been impressive right out of the gate for him in his Major League debut. You would know.
He's not scared off one bit. He's pitching at the big league level like he's been around for 5-6 years.
More of the numbers from that first outing against the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. Shift on, and Adrian takes it the other way. Gonzalez got that great bat control and has got himself a base hit to begin things here in the second inning. And his back is feeling better.
A guy who does not overswing, a hitter who has great bat control, as you mentioned, and also command of the strike zone. And he just does a nice job. Hands first, barrel follows, and if you go by that angle, that's exactly where that ball is going to end up. Makes it look easy.
Lead runner on here for the Dodgers after Vargas had a 1-2-3 first inning. Here is Trace Thompson. 282, 6 homers, 17 runs batted in. And he'll take a look at a strike over the outside corner. Vargas dotting that outside corner at 90 miles an hour. No decision in the last start for Vargas, which Padres went on to lose 3-2 to the Milwaukee Brewers. Gave up just the 2 runs in 5 innings. Grounded back past the mound softly towards Alexei Ramirez. He'll tag second himself. And in time, able to get Gonzalez. In the way initially was Rosales, but then Rosales got out of the way and Ramirez tags the bag. So the force out at second base. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, more derby on Preakness Day. See where I'm going?
Yes.
Home run derby. The home runs yesterday the Padres hit, right?
Right.
It was fun. Derek Norris, Christian Bethancourt, Melvin Upton Jr. home runs. And more home field advantage for Vargas. Very comfortable here at home. Be nice to see the kid get his first Major League win right here at Petco Park in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, he really could have had a win or two already. He's pitched well enough. The record not indicative of the way that he has pitched. Here's Jock Peterson bunting with the shift on, and that is just going to roll all the way down the third base line. Fair and a base hit for Peterson. So the Dodgers going the other way on this Padres shift for the second time in this inning for another hit.
Great bat control like Adrian Gonzalez, but this time with the bunt. Seems like part of the Dodgers game plan is, hey, we're going to play a little small ball when needed, and then maybe somebody will come up with a big hit to score some runs.
2 on, 1 away. Yasiel Puig the batter. We saw the strength of Puig in last night's game. It is impressive. All kinds of opposite field power when necessary. Pickoff bluff at second base.
I like
as
that.
Thompson moving back.
I like that. Keep him close. Let them know that you're out there. You see the defense. Rosales is cheating on the shift, but yet over towards the second base bag. Alexei Ramirez way out of the play. He's covering that 5.5 hole.
We talked about the opposite field power for Puig. Showed it off last night. This was against Carlos Villanueva.
That's some kind of fuerte right there.
There's a different sound that comes off of his bat. I was walking by their batting cage, which is in behind their dugout today. And he was taking some hacks. I didn't know who was taking hacks. I just heard it. And I took a peek around in the door, and it was Yasiel Puig. I mean, it just sounds different.
It'll get your attention.
It does. I mean, it is. Wow.
Still early on, his swing looked so mechanical. I made reference to it last night. It looked like he was all upper body.
Yeah, all arms.
Wasn't getting a lot of drive from his legs at all. And with that said, Don, and I said it again last night, but when you have a swing like that, to me, the only pitch you can hit is a mistake that's in that swing path. It's almost like he doesn't have the ability to go down and get a pitch. It's that one swing path to where if that pitch happens to be there, bang, he's going to hurt you.
On the ground, outside of third and foul. Now, as an opposing pitcher, is that something you could notice? I mean, is that something you see?
Oh, absolutely. No question about it. I mean, look at it. Just right there, even slow motion. Doesn't look like it's all. It just looks odd to me. It really does. And look where that pitch was. It was down, and he topped it. I guarantee you the pitch he hit last night was a pitch that was up.
And in the swing path.
In the swing path. Now, for him to go down and get a ball down and away, I don't know if he can do much damage to that.
He'll take that for strike 3. Didn't like it, and that has been a very questionable call. It's the same pitch that Kemp struck out on that did not appear to be a strike either. Vargas will take it, though, no doubt.
Don, you're absolutely right. That's a cut fastball in the inner part of the plate. Derek Norris frames it. He gets the call. Same pitch to Matt Kemp. No question about it. And our Honda Fox Tracks, has it inside.
So 2 down, first and second. Keep that in mind. Chris Guccione is going to call that a strike tonight. As Yasmani Grandal, the former Padre, stands in, takes a pitch outside. 3 home runs for Grandal so far. 13 RBIs, along with a .204 average. Last night, started first base in the absence of Adrian Gonzalez, and then by game's end was in behind the dish again, and that's where he is tonight. Field set up straight away. A.J. Ellis started last night's game doing the catching, and looking on from the dugout. That'll pick up the outside corner.
How about being a backup catcher? Always on red alert, right?
Yes.
I mean, one little injury, every inning, you got to be stretched out. You got to be prepared to go as if you're starting catcher is something freaky going to happen, and you got to strap on the gear and go get them. You can't be in the clubhouse with your feet up having a cup of coffee playing Candy Crush. You got to be ready to go.
Fouled back to the screen. Of course, the Padres have 3 catchers on their roster, and that's allowing Christian Bethancourt to get into some games as a pinch hitter, and we saw that last night with his home run, which was huge, part of the comeback. We will see him one way or another, the way he's swinging the bat right now. Thompson at second, Peterson at first, 2 down here in the LA second inning. Grandal hits a soft ground ball to Myers. He will take it to the bag alone, and that will end the top of the second inning. Coming up, Melvin Upton Jr., last night's hero, the hero of May for the Padres. He'll lead it off in the second, a scoreless ball game from Petco Park in San Diego. In the list of Major League active leaders among most career walk-off home runs, Melvin Upton Jr. last night with his 6th, getting on that list. Very impressive.
Yeah, those are clutch home runs.
Yes. He's had a flair for the dramatic over the course of his career.
Hey, and you know what? You know as well as anybody, there are guys who hit home runs. It's 11-2, not a difference maker, one way or the other. Hey, but when it's crunch time, down by 1, 2, tied, late.
Melvin Upton, Derek Norris, Brett Wallace featured here in the second inning, and there's a strike over the outside corner. Alex Wood enjoyed a 1-2-3 first inning and struck out 2, getting Jay and Kemp in the first inning. We talked about Upton, and the month of May has been very good for him. Really, the entire season has been very good for him. Late on that. 90 miles an hour, but it acted faster that time out of the hand of Alex Wood.
Sneaky fast. As I mentioned earlier, Wood's going to touch around 90. He's anywhere from 87 to 93 on that fastball.
Mentioned the walk-off 6 home runs, but he's got 10 career walk-off hits altogether. So pretty clutch over the course of his career. Joined Scott Hairston, who did it back in 2007 as the only Padres with 2 walk-off home runs in one season at Petco Park. Of course, he did it against the Arizona Diamondbacks earlier this season. Extra inning ball game right here. Liner down the right field line, foul.
Catcher's interference?
Catcher's interference will be headed to first base. So that is the indication from Chris Guccione, home plate umpire.
Did you know that that's a free swing? Let's say catcher's interference, guy hits a gapper. Guess what? You take the double. If it does not work into the favor, like, okay, we see they hit the glove there.
Yep.
Obviously, if it's a ground ball, you get first base. It always works to the advantage of the hitter. You're going to get a base either way you look at it. Whether it's first base on a foul ball, like we just saw, or if it's a ball in play, extra bases, it's a free.
Sounds like a free play in football, basically.
Exactly. Either you get first base or the result of the hit. Could be a double, could be a triple, whatever. But if it's a foul ball, you get first base.
Except in this case, you don't get a hit. That's the only
right,
problem.
but you get a base is what I'm saying.
Right, you do get a base. An error charge to the catcher Grandal in that instance. So lead runner on here for the Padres. First base runner for the Padres brings up Derek Norris.
So that goes as an E2. Error on the catcher.
Right.
If you're scoring at home.
I think there's an echo.
I'm thinking maybe if you left the room to go get a libation and you came back just to make sure.
Hear it again. It's okay. I don't always listen to you either. Norris will take the breaking ball. Picks up that outside corner. We'll get a look at where this made contact with the glove of Grandal. Maybe that extra equipment he's got.
You know, that should be wrapped around his wrist.
That's
it's a
loose.
protector for the wrist.
Yeah.
He's not utilizing that, though, it looks like.
We saw it go twice. Have you ever seen 2 in a game before? Padres had it happen. Listen to that last road trip.
That's right.
Hector Sanchez on 2 occasions. Catcher's interference tonight in Grandal. Charged with it here that has Melvin Upton Jr. at first base.
I'm kind of perplexed why he would not have that around the wrist and just leave it hanging like that. Hitting the flap and then the baseball.
Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't really hit the glove. Hit the extra stuff. Dangling, hanging from the glove. Morris thought about it, gets the arms out of the way and takes a strike.
You know what that's like? It's like an infielder on a sunny day, no clouds, having the sunglasses up on his hat. Why do you have them? Should use them.
Well, I guess it's the same kind of thing as some guys wear on their neck, where when it hits, it then still covers it.
Yeah, but still, if that's a result of a catcher's interference and you still leave it on your glove, wouldn't you wrap it around your wrist so it doesn't come into play?
You'd think so.
I don't know.
Well, they checked on Upton at first base, lead not terribly large, held on by Adrian Gonzalez. Center fielder Jock Peterson over towards right center. Bigger lead now for Upton. Norris with a swing and a miss. Tough pitch on the breaking ball. He goes down. That's the 3rd strikeout for Alex Wood. Going down here in the inning. Well, this rooftop shot is brought to you by Pinnacle on the Park. The sun has set in San Diego. A beautiful day, and now some clouds have made their way over. Some ominous clouds up over Petco Park. Started the game at 64 degrees.
Still a great day at the yard, isn't it?
Every day at the yard is a great day at the yard.
Love it.
1 out, 1 on. Wallace in on the left side. Going to start at third base. Can't get over that stride by Wood. Boy, that is long.
Herky, jerky, long, yeah. And when you have a long stride, you better make sure you get out in front with that release point, because if you don't, there'll be a lot of pitches that are hung in the zone, and that can get hurt.
Runner goes. Pitch is inside, a double pump, and never getting a hand on it, really, as Grandal could not grip the baseball. No throw, and Upton steals second base cleanly.
Well, with the lefty Wood on the mound, it's the first move. As soon as that leg is lifted, you are off. It's a do or die play. If he's going to first, you keep going, or you get in the pickle.
So 1 out, Upton at second base. They're shifting here, and they'll keep Seager close to the bag at second. That'll get away, and Grandal could not make the catch. To third base goes Upton. Not sure if he was crossed up or what, but just glanced off the glove.
Wow, check that glove for a frog with a tennis racket. That works to the advantage of the Padres. 90 feet, third base, 1 out. Wow. Should have had fingers down on that one. Maybe he was crossed up, but.
Well, it is a pass ball charge to the catcher Grandal. He's been a big part of the reason that Upton is at third base. Reached on the catcher's interference. Now he gets to third on the pass ball. Wallace softly lined into the glove, and Chase Utley, the second baseman. It's a big out, 2 down. 3-0 swinging was Brett Wallace, was green lighted, and he lines out softly to Utley, 2 down.
Missed big time with location, got in the kitchen. Sounded like a broken shillelagh as well. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shattered, Shadubi. Rats on the west side, bedbugs uptown.
2 down here in the inning. Upton still at third base. Alexei Ramirez is about ready, but Wood backs off. 237 average coming in for the Padres shortstop. No homers. 14 RBIs. Still looking for that first Padres home run. Ramirez sharply to third. Turner's got it. Ramirez is out number 3, and out of the jam is Alex Wood. Padres will leave Upton at third. We are through 2 without a score.
With the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat. It's the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet.
Well, some friends who are conflicted here. You get a Dodgers fan and a Padres fan. And last night, the Padres took game 1 of this series, trying to grab game 2. It is Alex Wood leading it off, the pitcher for the Dodgers, out of the 9th spot. Little grounder right side. Myers may need some help. Over is Vargas, and he'll get there for the first out here in the 3rd inning. So 1 away, and it's back up top now for Chase Utley. Utley, who Grounded out to first base in the first. Much better on the road, batting average-wise for Chase Utley at .342. The ominous clouds that make their way over Petco Park here tonight in San Diego. Chase Utley did not start last night's game, came off the bench. Back in the starting lineup again tonight. They are shifting on him on the right side. Almost ducked into that one on a fastball at 92.
3 on the right, and all by himself over there at third base is Alexei Ramirez.
Utley has hit safely in 12 of his last 13 road games. And takes a pitch up and away.
It's going to be a weird feeling as a third baseman when you look
left alone.
Yeah, you're left alone over there.
Wallace, of course, has played a lot of first base. So a guy who's at the very least used to the right side of the infield. However, maybe not that side of the right side.
You know, with the cutter that Vargas throws, we just saw one there perfectly placed down and in at the knees. There's the cutter. You know, that's a tough ball to inside out and go the other way. So that's playing into the shift. If he were to offer it that, hit it on the ground to the right side.
Another strike, and this one right at the bottom of the zone. So the low strike being called.
Same type pitch. Even though he missed with location, he wanted that one down and away. Derek Norris sticks it right there on the inside corner.
So battling back is Vargas as Utley grounds it foul. Well, among active second basemen, ranking among active leaders in several categories, you might imagine. Games played, he is third right now. Over 1,600 games, 1,623 games as a second baseman in the major leagues. And Utley will take the walk with one down here in the third inning. First 3 pass served up by Cesar Vargas of the night. One out, one on, and Corey Seager coming up. It's been an 11-game hitting streak. Only 370 during the streak, 5 homers and 8 runs batted in. Total of 7 home runs on the year. Total of 22 runs batted in. And then batting out of his 2 spot in the Dodgers order. Line down the left field line, foul.
You know what? Seager's gotten to some balls that have been quite remarkable. Seen some at bats where he can get on top of a pitch that's up there. He can take the ball the other way. This kid's quite a talent.
Currently leading the Dodgers in runs, hits at 47 hits, doubles with 12, RBIs with 22. Reaches out, fouls it off to the left, and is down 0-2. Jammed is the concourse tonight.
Wow.
That's the place to be, apparently.
Flight 2437 is delayed to Orlando. Flight 1876 to New York has been rerouted to Salt Lake to gate D3.
Looks like an airplane concourse, doesn't it?
It does. Lots of room, though. The 0-2 pitch he'll miss. Big crowd on hand here for the middle game of the 3-game series between the Padres and the Dodgers.
Great buzz at the ballpark right now.
Outside for ball 2.
Better be careful with that curveball to Seager, especially the right-handed Vargas. If you just roll that thing up there into the hitting zone, you speed up his bat, that could spell trouble. And he's lucky that this is up and away, not a good pitch for him to offer at.
Seager will take it, and it's away, full count. Vargas just walked Chase Utley with 1 out in the 3rd inning. He has struck out 2 on the night through 2 1/3 innings. Backed up in right is Kemp playing straight away, but he is deep out there in right field. Deeper than Jay or Upton. The left-handed hitting Corey Seager. Runner goes, Seager swings, a hot shot, picked by Rosales to Ramirez for 1 on to first, not in time. Nicely done.
Wow. Well, let's go back to the first pitch. Seager can do some damage. That pitch was elevated, but it was a cutter. Couldn't square it up, keeping the ball away. What's away? Again, there's the curveball that he's lucky that he missed it outside. Once again, trying to peck away the outside corner. And I'll tell you what, with the way the defense was played, this is one heck of a play by Brett Wallace. Nice dive by Will Myers, preventing that ball from going possibly into the stands, keeping that runner at first base.
So it is 5-6 on the force out at second base. Seager at first on the fielder's choice, and now Justin Turner gets jammed and hits a little pop-up back at first. Out goes Rosales on the run to make the catch. Adam Rosales running it down in right field. Some good defense turned in by the Pods. We go to the bottom of the 3rd without a score.
Petco Park. Well, today, 6-year-old superfan Renzo got his wish granted through Make-A-Wish and the San Diego Padres when he got to be a Padres player for the day. He got a spot in the players' lot, signed a contract with manager Andy Green, even got his own locker in the clubhouse right between Colin Ray and today's starter Cesar Vargas. He got to meet the players pregame on the field. I know Andy Green and the players were very humbled to be able to do this, and it was very rewarding for them. Guys, how special is that?
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Wow. Very powerful. And thanks to the Padre organization and those guys doing that for Renzo.
And Rosales leading it off after making the catch to end last inning. It's 8-9-1 for San Diego in the inning, and a strike at the bottom of the zone. That low strike's going to be a strike tonight. Vespuccioni has the plate. 3 strikeouts for Alex Wood so far through the first 2 innings. Well, back is Solarte for the Padres. Not Hervis.
He's got to be chomping at the bit, right, to get back?
Absolutely. He's got Amarista back yesterday, and now got Hervis Solarte back with the Padres. Some guys starting to come back off the DL. As a result, Pirela option to El Paso. Pirela playing both the outfield and the infield in his time here with the Padres. Fouled off to the right, 2-2.
Hey, you get a little taste of the big leagues. Hey, maybe it's 2 or 3 times over the course of the year, but you go down to AAA, the minor leagues, and a little bit more hungry. The appetite is a little bit more, right? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Jan, you know what? He brings that excitement to the bench. That was one of the first things that stuck out when the Padres acquired Jan Hervis.
Gonzalez goes around on a pitch in the dirt. He was fooled and strikes out. That's 4 Ks now for Alex Wood. And the first out here at the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Well, what's the curveball look like coming at you out of the hand of Alex Wood? If you're a right-hander, down and in, hey, you've only got a split second to make up your mind. That looks like a little slider possibly. Maybe a curveball. Let's call it a curveball. Bouncing it by that back foot.
1 out for Cesar Vargas, swinging at the first pitch and fouling it back. Vargas 0 for 6. Padres have had 1 base runner who was on the catcher's interference. Melvin Upton Jr. in the 2nd inning. Vargas down on the count, 0-2. A breaking ball from Alex Wood. Wood coming in at 1-3, the 4.17 ERA. Vargas will strike out. He knew it. Takes with him the 5th strikeout for Wood, and back-to-back Ks now for the Dodgers starter.
Hey, Tuesday, have a cup of coffee with Dick Enberg and John Jay as they talk baseball, life off the field, and their untold dreams and aspirations. That's Tuesday after SD Live, right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
That's some moss.
Yeah, Glenn Plakey. Remember the extreme skier right there? Remember the hairdo?
Yep.
That's, wow. That's impressive.
2 down here in the 3rd as John Jay stands in. Have you had a cup of coffee with Dick Enberg? Have you done the show before?
I have
had
not.
You on? He's never had you on?
No.
No. No. I guess he gets to talk to you every night.
Yeah.
So I guess there's no reason to have coffee with you.
I think people know us just from working together for 7 years.
So it's not necessary.
That's about all they want to know.
They know enough.
Right.
I know I've known you for a couple of weeks, and that's enough.
Seem like I've known you for 20 years.
I know.
Is that good or bad?
No, it's a good thing, I think. Very comfortable. As long as you stay on your side
You think
of the
we
booth.
should hug it out?
No. 2 down here in the inning. Sweeney will be here soon. I'm sure there'll be some question as to whether or not that's going to continue. Not supposed to mess with the streak. That's a big key. Never mess with the streak.
No, we don't.
So I don't know what's going to happen.
Stay tuned. Call a friend. Phone the neighbors.
He's here. Swing and a miss. Jay strikes out, and all 3. Rosales, Vargas, and Jay down by way of the K. We're headed to the 4th without a score tonight from SD. from Petco Park in San Diego. Adrian Gonzalez about to lead it off and take a look at his career numbers against this old team. In 73 games, 304 the average. 15 homers with 53 RBIs. And how about game-winning RBIs? 9 of them. He will stand in to get it started in the 4th inning. And take a look at strike one from Cesar Vargas. With us is Mark Sweeney as we move along here to the 4th inning.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, Mark Sweeney, when you talk about those numbers about Adrian Gonzalez, because he is a career .290 hitter.
Yeah, and you know what? He put up those huge numbers in the first series last year, Don, where he had 5 home runs in one series, the opening series. So, you know, a lot of those power numbers especially are a little bit inflated against the Padres.
Well, we talk about feeling comfortable at home, too, and this is a place, of course, he feels very comfortable.
He does, and I think a lot of it has to do with the hitting environment. This is a great place to hit if you're driving the balls in the gap and you're afforded to go the other way, because we always talk about how much room you have to cover in the outfield. One of the outfields in the NL West, you go to Colorado outfield, that's probably the toughest. But there's some outfields, especially San Francisco and here, we have to cover a lot of ground.
2-2. And a swing and a miss came in on the hands. Good pitch, and he strikes out Gonzalez. That is the 3rd strikeout for Vargas.
Mark Sweeney, you made a good point in our pregame show about commanding the curveball for Vargas. Well, we talked about the cut fastball as well, and we talked about Vargas facing Gonzalez up in Los Angeles. Struck him out a couple times, and he goes right back to that cutter. Nicely done.
What a great adjustment, because he took the ball the first at bat the other way and then working him in late.
So 1 down here in the 4th inning brings up Trace Thompson. Month of May's been pretty good for Thompson. We're talking about it earlier, Melvin Upton Jr. Thompson's been pretty good in the month of May also. And the start in the left field. Rounded into a fielder's choice in the 2nd inning. Little dribbler back towards the mound. Vargas a pick and throw, and that's 2 down.
He's smooth. Vargas is smooth.
Does not get riled.
Well, cut fastball again, avoiding the sweet spot. Look at just working around the ball a little bit. Cued right to the pitcher. And the nice flip over to first base. And look at how good he fields his. I mean, he's the best fielder out there tonight.
2 down here in the 4th inning brings up Jock Peterson. Bunted his way on last time with a full shift on. There's nobody over at 3rd base. This time they've got Alexei Ramirez over there, kind of in that area in case he tries to bunt again. Last time Alexei was hanging around 2nd base. So I'm going to take that possibility away now.
Yeah, it's right up at the top of the grass. But you know Peterson, he has been much better of late hitting the home runs. You wouldn't expect him to lay that bunt down.
He's kind of doing you a favor, is he not?
Yeah, well, there's good ways, and I think it's timing when it comes down to it. And if you're athletically good enough to lay that bunt down and not be a strike, why not try it? Because now you're opening up different holes out there, and you're exposing some of the strengths of the shift.
On the ground to first on 2, bounding hops. Myers will flip to Vargas, and that is out number 3. Vargas has got it going on tonight. We're 3.5 deep. No score from San Diego. greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Let's delve into the idea of the great shortstops all of a sudden here now across Major League Baseball, and some of the youngest guys going across the league as well, and very talented players.
Good crop, huh? As we take a look, Seager's seen it firsthand tonight. Carlos Correa, which Mark Sweeney picked in our inside corner segment. Lindor, Bogaerts, you know a lot about him, Don, and Trevor Story. The one thing that, a couple of points. One is, you know, for a few of these guys, they've been around the league a year or plus, right? And they're still putting up those numbers. I mean, that to me says that they're making adjustments because pitchers are going to be out to get kids like Seager. The other thing is that you're talking about a premier position. Shortstop at the big league level. That's impressive.
You know, Mark, you said exactly right. If baseball has to have a trend moving forward, and we've seen a dip in production at shortstop, well, now you're seeing some spectacular play. They're difference makers. They change the game, and you know the game's in good hands. Xander Bogaerts, this guy flies under the radar, and he has tremendous ability.
The Aruba native Xander Bogaerts, who has really come into his own over the last couple of years and really developed at the major league level. You know, you look back to the years when you had one of the guys in the ballpark tonight, Nomar Garciaparra, the Derek Jeters, the Alex Rodriguez's, all at the same time. That's really the last time I think you had that kind of consistency of that type of player across the league. There's Nomar working tonight, Dodgers telecast.
Nomar
Garciaparra.
You know, you think about it too. A lot of people are talking about the World Baseball Classic and Francisco Lindor and Carlos Correa. Who's going to play short for that country? And it sounds like they're going to move one of those over to second base. But what a great combination that's going to be. Two young shortstops that are doing a lot of great things at the big league level.
Pretty strong up the middle. And Myers leading it off here in the last half of the fourth inning. Padres still in search of their first hit of the night. Actually, I have gone years without seeing a catcher's interference.
Yeah.
We've seen 3 in like 2 weeks.
I immediately thought about that.
2, of course, in one game for the Padres on the road trip, and 1 tonight.
And you said it. There's been a couple of years where you didn't see one at all.
No.
And Mark, I'm amazed at Yasmani Grandal. I haven't looked at his glove lately, but he has that part on his wrist that's kind of dangling, whether he's taking it off or not, but he's still keeping it.
Yeah, I love your point
wrist.
too. It doesn't make any sense. It's flapping in the wind there with the ability to be able, especially the right-handers, with that swing.
See, he still has it on his glove.
Now, pretty interesting in making adjustments, and you see Melvin Upton with that emergency swing that created that.
Line to center. In comes Peterson, but that's going to fall in front of him. Second time Myers has made solid contact. First time lining out to Peterson back in the first inning. This time gets himself a leadoff base hit in the first hit of the night for the Padres.
On our Phantom cam, you see him right down on the barrel. It's off the end of the bat, but the good thing about Wil Myers, now he's starting to use the middle of the field. The first at bat, hitting that shot to center field. This one dumps in, but it's good hitting and a good approach for Wil Myers.
Myers at first base to get it started. Second time the Padres have had the lead runner on. The first time was the second inning, and they left Melvin Upton Jr. at third base. Couldn't get him in. Matt Kemp, a strikeout victim in the first. So the numbers against Wood, 5 for 10.
Let's see if he looks inside, because he's been exposed to that ball off the plate.
I'm guessing changeup right here. And remember, he got a call too. Home plate umpire Chris Cuccione is calling it both ways. That pitch off the plate just a little bit. First pitch changeup right here to Matt Kemp. Oh, that front side really opened up. Back foot slipping out.
Down on the count, 0-2.
It seems like Matt's late on the fastball. There's a lot of times he's getting himself into good pitcher's counts because of the foul ball. When you're late, you want to make that adjustment, but you really have to focus on staying short with your swing.
Swing and a miss, and he strikes out for the second time tonight. That is now 7 strikeouts for Wood through 3 1/3.
Well, one of the points I made when we were talking about the scouting report is trying to throw that breaking ball, that curveball towards the back right foot of the right-handed hitter. Yeah, even if you make contact, when you're in the hole, you got to protect. Even if you hit that ball, it's going to be off your shin, over in the other dugout, or a ball foul, or swung on a miss. That's a tough pitch to lay off, A, and 2, keep fair if hit.
1 down, Myers at first base. Good sized lead over at first, and here is Upton. They will check on Myers as Wood notice the lead. What are you seeing differently from Melvin Upton this last month?
Well, I've really liked his approach, and he's taking pitches, and he's trying to stay in the strike zone a little bit more. At times, kind of over swings. We saw the moment last night, and that just gives you more and more confidence, and he's earning his playing time.
Seems to me the adjustment from center field to left field has really been incredible.
And you know what, Mike Pomeranz made a really good point. When you change position, sometimes that takes over mentally, and it's challenging offensively to put both sides together. Well, Melvin has done a tremendous job both on the defensive side, but now you're seeing the consistency on the offensive side.
Off the end of the bat, that's cued and spinning its way foul.
Just goes to show you how good of an athlete he is. And a lot of these guys, they can make an adjustment, different position, but he has just seamlessly transitioned over to left field. And the arm, the accuracy of the arm.
I agree. Defensively, he has shored up left field, and the defense has been much better because of that.
And he's shaking off every pitch here. He went breaking ball, fastball, changeup. Now he's going to back off.
Most home runs in a year for Upton. Hit 28 as a member of the Tampa Bay Rays back in 2012.
Fastball in. If he was going to call that one a strike, I was going to jump out of this booth. I'm sure there are a lot of people wishing they were called a strike.
Calm down.
Relax, Francis.
Lighten up.
Myers with a start and a stop at first doesn't go as Upton takes strike 2. Myers didn't like the jump that he got, or he was just bluffing, but kind of a stop and go at first base.
Possibly trying to buy him another fastball. Padres are going to have to take their chances because obviously with only 1 hit, try to get in scoring position.
I'm guessing breaking ball down and in here.
Good guess, and a swing and a miss. Striking out is Upton. That's 8 Ks now for Wood, 2 down.
And the only reason why I guessed that, guys, is because of the success he had against Matt Kemp. So let's go back to pitch number. There's the changeup. Fouled off out of play. Got to be really quick now on the fastball. This is inside. You see he's working in and out, up, down and in with the breaking ball. That's the curveball.
2 down here in the 4th. Upton's telling him how it happened. 8 strikeouts now for Alex Wood and Derek Norris. He's a strikeout victim himself. That came back in the 2nd inning. Now ground ball right towards Utley. He will tag the bag at second and end the inning. So leadoff hit does not go anywhere for the Padres. Scoreless through 4. Sycuan Casino. Sign up for the new Padres Club card today. By Jack in the Box. Taste the Baconlicious Sourdough Bacon Ranch Combo. And by Mercury Insurance. We're on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com today. Fifth inning, Dodgers and Padres back at Petco Park in San Diego. Cesar Vargas and Alex Wood locking horns here tonight. And so far so good really for both. Alex Wood with 8 strikeouts through the first 4 innings.
It's a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel.
Cesar Vargas against Yasiel Puig. Puig last night going 2 for 4 with a home run. Sits safely now in 4 straight games. Kind of been in a season-long slump. Takes a strike there.
It's a nice changeup by Vargas. Oh, I love the circle change grip. Right on the inside corner.
We're trying to cut down on the strikeouts. Struck out just 5 times in the last 11 games. 38 at bats. Prior to that, 28 times in the first 30 games of the year. It bounces in and it evens at 2-2. Doesn't walk a lot, just 7 walks and 162 plate appearances this season. And only 2 walks since April the 12th. Wow. Not hanging around.
I remember getting into pro ball. And, you know, you're playing with guys from the Dominican, Puerto Rico, all around the country. And I remember the one saying, and Mark, you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
The saying is you can't walk off the island, right?
Line foul back into the seats.
Meaning that they're going to be hacking.
Oh, yes.
No scouts are going to be looking at kids from Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic or wherever if they, hey, he's got a good eye, he takes a lot of walks. No, not the case. They're going to be hacking, and it goes to prove your numbers. Yasiel Puig likes to swing the bat. Kids from Cuba, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic.
Aldoff stays alive here, the full count. 1 walk tonight for Vargas, 3 strikeouts.
8th pitch coming this at bat as Yasmani Grandal waits on deck.
Yeah, you wonder if he's going to go to the breaking ball here. Something down low in the strike zone because he is not using his lower half.
To center field and struck well. John Jay going back, and John Jay will run it down. Long way to go for the Padres center fielder, but John Jay on the run to the warning track. Able to make the catch for the first out.
Well, 3-2, you know he's swinging. Watch John Jay that first step. Then he puts his head down to gain traction and get deep into that gap right on the edge of the warning track across his body. And again, one of the center fielders puts his head down to gain extra ground, knowing full well where that ball is going to go and makes the adjustment on the catch. Very nice play by John Jay.
That's a great shot, too. Beautiful.
Yasmani Grandal batting with 1 down in the inning. I'm talking to Steve Finley about that when he was in on the last homestand. I mean, what's your theory there? I mean, you're looking to a spot, you know center field so well, you know where that ball's going to go. You just got to worry about getting there as quickly as you can, take your eye off the ball, and just sprint.
Well, I'll tell you this, too. Steve Finley did it as good as anybody in center field. I would say Andrew Jones was probably just a notch above him because Andrew Jones played very shallow. But you look at John Jay and the center fielders especially, it's a little bit easier from center field to know where that ball's going because there's not a lot of tail on it. But in the gaps, you have to gain ground. The first step is essential. And then you have to trust what you're looking at in the timing aspect. That is very, very nice job in center field.
Yeah, and if you don't have blazing speed in center field, you know John Jay's not a burner. You better have that good first step like Mark Sweeney said, and that's what the gift he has of reading that ball off the bat in that first step,
yeah.
I think.
I agree.
2-2 to Grandal.
I mean,
that is strike three. Picks up the outside corner, and yes, Vargas will take it. That's strikeout number 4. And 2 down here in the 5th inning. Well, now it's time for our fan of the game, brought to you by Fan Diego.
That's some
that little guy.
That's some puppy love right there.
He's a good boy.
What that makes me want to think about?
No, I don't.
I'm telling you.
What's that?
That is. Look at all the hugs in there.
I know it. I know.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can't.
I hug my dog every day. I love my dog.
I love hugs.
I do too. Fly ball down the right field line, foul. Let's get it over with. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. All right.
Okay. Yeah, that's.
What? Listen.
I feel so
just
good
don't
now.
know if I like being in the middle.
That's where you sit.
Awkward.
It is.
Can I switch positions at least?
No.
Sure you can.
That's where he sits. What do you want him to do? Move over here? Have me in the middle? No.
Yeah, you be in the middle.
I don't want to be in the middle.
I think we should do that.
I feel some runs coming.
Listen, it is. It's rally hug time.
It worked last night.
Yeah, it did.
Was told never mess with a streak.
You can't mess with a streak. And thinking about it too, you know, Park in the Park understands that they can hear us out there.
Yeah.
I'd like to see some of the fans engage in that rally hugging.
Hey, hug a friend. I said it. Go ahead.
That's why I hug you, Don. I know you don't like it.
That's fine.
But
I'm getting used to it, actually.
But you know, though, Mark Sweeney said it before the game. In this game of baseball, in sports, in the clubhouse, if you find out a teammate doesn't like something, guess what?
It happens.
It's
Adrian
common.
Beltre does not like his head touched.
And
What do
everyone
they do?
touches his head.
Everybody touches his head. Makes him very angry.
You're not getting angry, are you?
No, I'm fine. I'm used to it.
You sound great.
Thanks.
You're going to have to like it.
That is strike 3. 5 strikeouts for Vargas, back-to-back Ks in the 5th. We're halfway through and we're done hugging. Scoreless from San Diego.
Well, using both sides of the plate, and I'll be quite honest with you, it's working both ways. That Chris Cuccione is calling a ball, maybe a ball and a half width in and off the plate. So both pitchers doing it. But with the strikeout total for Alex Wood, yeah, he's in control. He's taking advantage of that strike zone.
Now it's time for In the Driver's Seat, brought to you by Kia. And he's been very good. Mentioned a total of 8 strikeouts in this game and 4 innings, just the 1 hit.
And gentlemen, with the way the strike zone is, I'm surprised that if you're a pitcher tonight, don't even try to throw the ball down the heart of the plate.
Well, you don't need to. Offensively, it doesn't mean you're exposed to getting out of the strike zone until you have 2 strikes.
And Brett Wallace to lead it off here in the home half of the 5th inning. And Wallace will take a strike. Wallace lined out to second base in the second inning. Sharply hit at Chase Utley. There's strike two. You got Vargas at 64 pitches through 5 innings. You get Wood here with 58 pitches right now, working to his first batter of the 5th. See Wallace heating it up at the plate lately. Not this time as he strikes out looking for the first out of the 5th, and that's 9 strikeouts for Alex Wood. And Wallace says some things to Chris Guccione on the way back to the dugout.
That's a legitimate strike.
Oh, yeah.
Good pitch.
Well, because Brett Wallace was called off the plate on the second pitch, he's looking out over the plate just to try to protect. That fastball's right over the middle of the plate.
1 out here in the 5th inning brings up Alexei Ramirez.
You know, Mark, you just made a great point, because when you're getting that call and then you're protecting out there.
Oh, yeah.
You're looking, and then all of a sudden, bang, that legitimate strike. Tough to pull the trigger.
Yeah, it's plate coverage for the offensive player. And you're seeing a lot of those pitches, especially the secondary pitches of Wood. He's setting it up with that appearance looking like a fastball and getting out of the strike zone. Some awkward swings from both sides.
Nine strikeouts on the night for Wood. Ramirez not one of them. He grounded out to third baseman Justin Turner in the second inning. Lunging after that pitch, and Ramirez is down by way of the K. Make it 10 now for Alex Wood, and 2 down here in the 5th.
Working quickly, working ahead, and no reason to throw the ball over the plate. That's the changeup down and away. Been an effective pitch. That breaking ball down and into the righties, the changeups down and away.
So 2 down here in the 5th brings up Adam Rosales. Struck out swinging in the 3rd. And takes strike 1. Strikeout high had been 9 for Alex Wood on the season. 12 is his career high. Right now a 10 in the game, and he's only in the 5th with 2 outs.
Well, guys, what makes it very difficult from the offensive side is if you've had a call inside, especially off the plate, your eyes are and your vision is set for there, so then expose that outside part of the plate.
Line foul.
And you're seeing a lot of awkward swings by foul balls, getting into pitchers' counts. Now Alex Wood can put any of these hitters away off the plate, knowing he can get a call, but also a swing and miss and a ball in the dirt.
He's got 2 options here. Change up down and away, breaking ball down and in. Which part of the plate is Adam Rosales going to protect?
Looked like Alex Wood wanted that pitch.
Yeah. Fastball away.
Swing and a miss, and again Wood strikes out the side. Did it in the 3rd. He's done it here in the 5th. 11 strikeouts for Wood. We're through 5. Been a lot of these tonight. No score. All-Star Game history brought to you by Geico. July 15th of 75, the All-Star Game in the second inning at County Stadium. Steve Garvey and Jim Wynn hit back-to-back home runs off Vita Blue. Randy Jones would close out the win for the National League, winning 6-3. County Stadium, and of course the All-Star Game be right here at Petco Park.
I love that old footage. You know why? Because that's right in my wheelhouse as a kid.
How about RJ closing it out?
Finishing it off. Chase Utley starts it off here in the 6th inning for the Dodgers. Utley grounded out to first base in the 1st, walked in the 3rd.
How about RJ finish it off there in Milwaukee for the win, and then starting the next year in Philadelphia for the National League for the All-Star Game. Love the left-hander.
There he is.
There he is.
RJ, you know what he is in our world? He is a star.
Man, you can draw.
That wasn't even my best work.
Utley, Seager, and Turner here in the 6th inning. Chase Utley grounding out to first in the 1st, walked in the 3rd.
It's getting that point of the game, getting late to where one pitch, one play can make the difference. We got ourselves a pitcher's duel here. And what do you know, a hitter's count to a pretty darn good hitter in Chase Utley.
Vargas has not gone over 100 pitches in any outing yet this season. Here is pitch 70. And right side. Myers going to need help. Vargas is there. Nicely covering first base and getting a good break off the mound was Vargas for the first out here of the 6th inning.
The kid is athletic. He's good on his feet. Will Myers going to his right. Now the ball is hit sharply right, so gather your feet. Show the baseball. Throw it over the bag to the moving target. And that's a nice 3-1 play.
So one down here in the 6th inning is Corey Seager. 0 for 2 so far. Grounded back to the mound, grounded into a fielder's choice. A shift on him on the right side. With Brett Wallace moving from third base to the right side of the infield. And Alexei Ramirez remains on the left side and with a bunt possibility. Hangs out at the lip of the grass at third. Healthy hack right there for Seager.
It's like Seager's looking for that cutter in. Try to turn on that. You can see that big swing getting around the baseball. This is the reason why when you get around the baseball, this is what happens. Right off that back leg. I've done that. It's not a very good thing because you can't act like it hurts. You hit your back leg. It's probably it's pretty impossible.
Yeah, because usually it's the front leg, right?
I did it against Kevin Brown, bases loaded, 2-0 count. How's that swing?
Swing and a miss here, and Vargas picks up his 6th K. The breaking ball getting Seager 2 down.
Oh, he's breaking out the yacker when needed. It hasn't been a pitch he's gone to a lot tonight. It's been changeups, cutters. Now he's gotten that in his back pocket. And Seager way out in front of it. It'll bring you to your knees.
At least one of them. 2 down here in the 6th. Brings up Justin Turner. Turner struck out in the 1st, fouled out to Adam Rosales, second baseman, running into foul ground in the 3rd.
We saw Justin Turner last night. Obviously, he had the big home run, but as the game went on, he looked like he was trying to hit the ball the other way. And he will make in-game adjustments better than anyone the last couple of years.
Chopper left side to short. Ramirez, good throw, inning over. 11 in a row retired by Cesar Vargas. Half of the 6th inning with the Padres coming up. What has been a pitcher's duel here tonight in San Diego. Well, a crowded outfield situation when you think about the guys coming here to Petco Park for the All-Star game. In the National League, these are the possibilities.
Oh, Mark Sweeney, want to take this one first?
Well, I think Bryce Harper's a no-brainer.
Yep.
That's what it comes down to. Cespedes looks like a no-brainer as well. But you're wondering if Stanton's going to be one of those guys that's added to that list. Home run production. Andrew McCutchen's always a fan favorite.
You know what? I think in order, as far in voting, these guys are going to be voted in this order: 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's just my opinion.
How about you, Don? What do you think?
I think Giancarlo Stanton is going to be in there, and I know that he's not even on our list right now, but I think he's going to sneak in. What do you think?
Yeah, he struggled lately, but that's the guy that he can power baseball and put up multiple game home runs, which I think is really important if you're thinking about it. That's the best power hitter in the game right now.
No question about it. But I'm thinking from a voting standpoint, I think a lot of people are going to have their feet in the sand and not get quite the votes like in New York, Washington, D.C., and our nation's capital.
So you're saying,
and of course, with the popularity of the Buccos.
A geographical standpoint is going to help the other guys. I just know that every time I turn on a highlight show, I'm seeing a long ticker tape home run that is going to be off the charts. And home runs are exciting.
Love the long ball.
Another strikeout for Wood. That's 12, by the way, and that ties a career high.
Last 4 Padres have seen an 0-2 count. That's not a good trend.
He has struck out 6 of the last 7 batters here through the middle innings. John Jay has struck out twice on the night. Once looking, once swinging. Everybody has struck out at least once except for Will Myers. That's a strike. Said that a few times tonight. Dave Roberts certainly likes what he sees here tonight. 1-1 is going to catch that outside corner. It's been a tight breaking ball. 1-2.
Well, Alex Wood has expanded the strike zone, and his command has earned that. You know it's on both sides, and unfortunately the hitters are going to have to make adjustments.
There's Myers waiting on deck. He's got the only Padres hit of the night, a single to center in the 4th. It's not like the Dodgers have a ton of hits either. They have one more than the Padres do. They have 2.
I think a mistake is going to determine this game.
Pitch 75 of the night for Wood will be in a moment as time called at the plate.
What do you think, Mark Sweeney? One swing or one defensive miscue, maybe?
Well, it could be a combination of both, but I think it's going to be one swing.
Look at that workload. Top down 15 twice in the 2nd and in the 4th. Very quick, efficient innings for the left-hander.
Ball 4, and actually no, he went around, or did he? They're going to check. He went around, or did he? No, he did not. He went up with his hand as if to say he did, but he was throwing the ball back. So it is ball 4 as they appealed with Alfonso Marquez, third base umpire.
I thought this was actually pretty close when we first saw it, but he sold this very well. Very close, and you see John Jay just taking his walk to first base. I think he held up.
So that is the first walk given up by Wood of his outing. Padres have a 1-out base runner, and Will Myers the batter. And Myers has the only hit tonight for San Diego. Single to center his last time up. Now ground ball into left center field. A base hit. Jay will touch second. He's headed for third. He will get there without a problem. Throw goes to second, and the Padres are in business here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They're at the corners with 1 away.
Well, what a swing on our Phantom Cam. You could see working down the barrel and using the middle of the field. I said again, Will Myers has to use the middle of the field. That's his strength. But watch John Jay against Trace Thompson. The read, looking up at Trey Thompson, going into that left center gap, taking that extra base. Trace Thompson fielded that like an infielder out in left center. Good base running by the Padres.
First and third, one down, and Matt Kemp coming up.
Well, you see Trace Thompson going, and that's the infielder approach. Typically, as a right-handed left fielder, he'll spin and throw that in the direction. He kept the double play in order.
Kemp tonight struck out looking in the first, struck out swinging in the fourth. Full there and lunges after that pitch, 1-1.
And to your point, Don, that head is moving forward. And that strike zone will change. When your head moves forward, you don't control your vision, you will get out of the strike zone a lot. Pitch actually looks faster than it really is.
That's with Jay at third, Myers at first, one away in the Padres' sixth inning. Kemp again, kind of in between on that cut.
That's the curveball again.
Changed his mind in the middle of that last swing.
Well, you see a swing by Matt Kemp. Watch that front side. It goes forward, getting out of the strike zone and not feeling very comfortable. He's got to stay behind the baseball and track it with his eyes. Trust your swing. Trust what you worked on before the game.
Jay at third, Myers crossed the diamond at first. One out here in the sixth inning. Kemp will hit it in the air to right field. Deep enough as Puig will get himself ready out there. Makes the catch. He's got a great arm. Here comes Jay. Throw the plate is going to be up the line. And the Padres take a 1-0 lead. Sacrifice fly for Matt Kemp. Something he could lift out there to deep right. And Puig's throw off the mark in is Jay, and San Diego on top 1-0.
Well, what a great adjustment for Matt Kemp, and tip your cap because he is battling throughout the whole at bat. Stays in the strike zone, and this was elevated, the elevated fastball, but he gets enough on it to Puig where he doesn't have a chance to get John Jay for the first run for the Padres in a huge RBI situation.
That's where that base running comes into play, as you mentioned. First to third for John Jay, taking advantage of Trace Thompson out there on left, kind of playing it back a little bit. All the difference in the world, and the Padres taking the lead here late.
Two down, Myers at first, and now Melvin Upton Jr. Reached on the catcher's interference in the second, the E2. And struck out swinging in the fourth inning. Snap throw to first, and diving back is Myers.
Well, with Myers on first base, you see the outfield. They're playing no doubles defense. Way back in all three positions. This is the first time of the night that Alex Wood does not feel very comfortable. See those mannerisms on the mound? This is when you have to capitalize on those mistakes.
.12 strikeout night for Wood. His pitch is in there for a high strike call, and it evens a count of 1-1 as he changed up. Vargas struck out to begin the inning. Jay walked. The single for Myers, his second hit of the night. Jay got to third. The sac fly for Kemp. 1-1 will have to wait as they check on Myers. Ball dropped by Gonzalez.
Joe Blanton heating up for the Dodgers.
First action we've seen for either side tonight.
Yeah, Don, you made a good point earlier. A big key, another key is getting into that bullpen. They've allowed 16 runs in 18 and a third innings the last 6 games.
There goes Myers. The pitch is outside. The throw is late. So Myers getting a good start at first base and steals second base on Grandal, who kind of hesitated there on the toss.
And once again, putting pressure on Grandal, and that first move by Wood, he is off. That's the chance you take. And I think Mark Sweeney was calling traveling.
Yeah, I was traveling.
On Yasmani Grandal?
Yeah, watch him. That's traveling.
Yeah, you got to put the ball down.
Even in the NBA, it's traveling.
So now Myers in scoring position. Will get his walking lead with 2 away. Inside, almost hit him, and now Myers going to try for third. He'll get there, standing.
How's that pitch not hit Melvin? Well, it was a breaky ball. It must have checked back up the other way.
I think it actually did hit him. You see Grandal with the block. Well, it did hit him. Then he kicks it. The block and then the right foot. Kicking it to the side. Nice play by Melvin. Nice hacky sack move right there.
Now pitch getting Myers to third base. Kemp's already taking care of business, bringing in the game's only run on a sac fly to right. Now Upton will look at the strike, and it is a full count. Feet away is Myers with another potential run here for the Padres. And a swing and a foul tip for strike 3. And Upton's going to say some things to Guccione he didn't like strike 2. Kemp with a sac fly has put the Padres on top 1-0. We played 6.
Cesar Vargas against Adrian Gonzalez. Remember up in LA, the curveball got him swinging in the dirt. The next time up, a curveball, he's taking it because he thinks he might bounce it, but that's a called strike. Now let's fast forward here to Petco Park. Tonight, the cutter down and in. 3 times, Cesar Vargas has gone in to the inside part of the plate with the breaky ball to get Adrian Gonzalez. Pitching him very nicely.
7th inning, Vargas now working with the lead. Gonzalez with a single in the 2nd. You saw the strikeout in the 4th inning. And a ground ball the other way and out of the reach of Alexei Ramirez with a shift on the left side of the infield. Second time Gonzalez has gone in that direction.
Just dropping the head, hitting down on that baseball and beating the shift. Denying the shift, out of the reach of Alexei Ramirez. As you mentioned, the second time tonight, he has gone that way.
Breaks up a string of 11 in a row retired by Cesar Vargas. Look at this season against the Dodgers. That first outing April 29th at Dodger Stadium.
Well, he can work a ground ball, he can work a strikeout, and how about working for a double play? Not any speed, no speed at first base in Adrian Gonzalez.
Trace Thompson, the batter, 0 for 2. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the second, grounded back to the mound in the fourth. There is Ryan Buchter. He has been Andy Green's 7th inning man for the most part this season and has been spectacular. But Vargas came into this inning with 78 pitches. There's the strike. And it's 1-1. So his pitch count in much better shape than it generally is during the course of his outing so far this year. Mentioned Vargas has not gone up over 100 pitches in any of his outing, and this marks his 6th major league start.
Well, you might see that left-hander facing Jock Peterson next if it gets to him. Third time around, a lot to consider from a manager's standpoint.
Line foul. There's Jock Peterson waiting on deck. On a bunt base hit back in the second inning. One of only 3 hits in this game for the Dodgers, and one of them coming to lead off this inning. In the air to center field, struck well. Jay going back, still going, and that is out of here. 2-run shot for Trace Thompson, his 7th of the year, and the Dodgers have taken a 2-1 lead.
Don, what were we talking about in our pregame and in our open about location from Cesar Vargas? This is exactly what I'm talking about. And he knows it. He's topping out about 91. That cut fastball, if you throw it down the heart of the plate, it could spell damage, and it did on that one. A 1-2 count, that's what hurts. 1-2 count, he had him in the hole, but Trace Thompson crushing a mistake. And with one swing, the Dodgers take the lead.
Now Jock Peterson with the bases empty after the home run. And zips one up and in. Now Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, headed out. Brad Hand is now up in the pen. The lead is gone, which apparently changes the complexion of whether Buchter was coming into this game. Quick word of encouragement from Balsley and headed back to the dugout. 2-run home run for Trace Thompson, his 7th of the year.
Well, with the visit from Darren Balsley, it's his guy now. He's got to pitch to him. So righty on lefty here. He's got to make an adjustment. Still nobody out.
Count of 1-0 to Peterson. Pitch. And that'll pick up the outside corner. A sellout here tonight in San Diego. 3rd sellout of the year here at Petco Park. 40,221 on hand tonight to the middle game. This 3-game series between the Padres and the Dodgers. Inside 3-1.
You notice something as the pitch count continues to go up?
Yep.
3 of those pitches in sequence has been up and in. He's been effective in the belt or lower, maybe around the knees. Not right now to Jock Peterson as you take a look at the Fox tracks and those pitches right up there.
There's a strike. It is on that outside corner.
Good cut fastball.
There's Peterson talking to Guccione, the home plate umpire. Trace Thompson with his 7th home run, RBIs 18 and 19. In the air to left center on the move is Upton from left, and he almost, I think, lost him in the lights there. He came in too far, able to duck back and make the catch for the first out of the inning. Tonight's game is presented in HD by Sony. Andy Green has seen a 1-0 lead turn into a 1-run deficit in this inning. And with 1 away in the 7th, it brings up Yasiel Puig. Struck out looking in the 2nd, flied out to the warning track in center in the 5th. Shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes a strike right at the knees. Now Vargas with 6 strikeouts coming into the 7th inning. Walked only 1. Downstairs, and it's 2-1. Coming into this inning, Vargas had retired 11 Dodgers in a row. And a single and a home run to begin the inning. The line out by Peterson. On the ground, a broken bat grounder to shortstop. Ramirez with a throw that's in time. So Puig retired, and there are 2 outs here in the 7th inning.
Well, the pitch count now for Vargas is at 91, and usually when it's upper 80s or mid 90s for the right-hander, he's only gone 5 innings, 3 times, 6 innings, 4 innings, but hey, into the 7th, if he could keep it at 2, it's a fine job.
Yeah, he just peered into the dugout to look at his manager. He's not moving. So,
hey, what did Mark Sweeney say when he joined us? Maybe 1 swing. That would be the difference in this game. You know, the sac fly by Kemp was a good at bat with a runner on. That kid right there, Trace Thompson, 1 swing, taking the lead.
Grandal getting his 3rd plate appearance of the game. And that'll bounce into him. Grounded out to first base in the 2nd, struck out looking in the 5th. This one is foul and all the way down to first base. Off the foot or leg this time of Grandal, and he's in some pain. Got a feel for Vargas. Another night where he has pitched very well. You look at the numbers. He's given up only 4 hits in this game, but nothing to show for it, and off the top of the foot. Grandal still having trouble.
That looked like it was right off the top of the foot, right where those laces are.
One-two from Vargas. And a swing and a miss struck him out, but the damage done. Trace Thompson with a 2-run home run has given the Dodgers a 2-1 lead with this. summary. And tonight, a pitcher's duel from Petco Park as Cesar Vargas matched up against Alex Wood in this one. Wood with 13 strikeouts, a sac fly off the bat of Matt Kemp, scoring John Jay to put Padres on top 1-0, but the Dodgers answered with his 2-run shot by Trace Thompson in the top of the 7th inning to give the Dodgers a 2-1 lead. Cesar Vargas, 95 pitches in his outing. 7 innings, 4 hits, the 2 runs, and likely leaving here on the hook.
This goes to show you at this big league level how tough it is to twirl a gem for 80, 90, close to 100 pitches, and it's just one pitch. That's the difference between a win and a loss possibly. Hey, still plenty of baseball left, but that's how one pitch can turn on a dime.
Well, Derek Norris leading it off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Norris struck out in the 2nd, grounded into a fielder's choice in the 4th inning. "13 strikeouts for Alex Wood. That is a new career high. Previous high had been 12 strikeouts, done twice. Fouled off to the right, out of play.
You know, as a pitcher, when you get into that groove, Don, there is nothing like it. You get that feel to where you're like a horse coming around that last turn. You got the blinders on. Nothing is distracting you. You've got that release point down. You're not even thinking about a thing. You're seeing fingers, a glove, and bang, you're hitting it.
Broken bat down the left field line. It'll be a fair ball headed towards the left field corner. Norris is thinking too. Thompson over to dig it out, and Norris into second base with a leadoff double to begin the bottom of the 7th inning. Here come the Padres.
Derek Norris will gladly sacrifice that shillelagh for a double. Thank you very much. 3rd time around for the Padre catcher. Off the end of the bat, split in half. And when the Dodgers scored last half inning, Padres trying to answer right back to either tie or take the lead.
So Norris with a double open up the bottom of the 7th inning. It's been a fun series so far. Great ball game last night. Another good battle tonight. Padres and Dodgers going head to head. Brett Wallace batting for the 3rd time tonight. He is lined out to second base and struck out looking. Wallace will take the strike over the outside corner. Be looking to pull something here to the right so he can get Norris to third base at the very least. Yangervis Solarte with a bat in hand. Just off the DL, activated today. This is to left field. Thompson coming in, and that will be trapped out there. Norris to third base on the base hit by Wallace. Played on a hop by Trace Thompson in left field, and it's 1st and 3rd with nobody out.
Were you thinking what I was thinking? Were you thinking that ball was going to skip by and go all the way to the wall? Because I tell you what, this is do or die out there for Trace Thompson. He gets to the point of no return. He better make sure he keeps that ball in front of him on the trap.
Did a good job of that, 2 hands.
Yes, he did.
Dave Roberts on the mound to make the change. That's a night for Alex Wood. Padres heating it up. But the Padres are threatening with runners at first and third and nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. This pitching change is brought to you by El Cajon Ford and Lewis Coleman into the game now for the Dodgers.
And not bad numbers. An ERA above 3, his 20th game, and lefties 3.13. He has yet to give up a long ball right now. He pitched yesterday, 1 inning, a hit, a walk. He has tossed scoreless relief in 13 of his last 14 games dating back to April 25th. So very unorthodox delivery from Lewis Coleman. Really extremely throws across his body, given fits.
This is where you want to get into the Dodgers bullpen, and here's why. They have been very flammable lately in the last 6 games. Some tough numbers for the Dodgers pen as Alex Wood departs. And it is up to these guys to get it done for Los Angeles. Yangervis Solarte in his return here to the Padres. Fresh off the DL. Off the DL and into his first game here back. Pinch hitting, first and third, nobody out. And he'll take ball 1 outside.
It's worth a look. Coleman. He goes from the first base side, and look at how far over he steps towards the third base line. Give that crossfire look to you. Tall, lanky right-hander. Low 3/4 delivery from Coleman.
Solarte fouls it back. So Andy Green hitting for Alexei Ramirez here in the 7th.
You know, it almost looks like he's going to throw a pickoff move to third base. It's that extreme, thrown across his body. That's got to, elbow's got to be barking a little bit. Shoulder.
5 games for Solarte. That's it before he went on the DL. Foul back to the screen, down 1-2. On the DL, the right hamstring strain back on April the 10th. Quick rehab, just 2 games with AAA El Paso. It's 5 for 7 with a double and 2 triples in those 2 games. So highly productive and activated quickly.
And Coleman trying to pepper that zone away. All 3 pitches off the plate.
Solarte will pop it up. Left side of the infield, Turner. Down from third base will make the catch in fair ground for the first out of the 7th. And Solarte retired. That's a big out, 1 away.
After going away, this one catches middle, maybe outer third a little bit. Just couldn't get on top of it to keep it on the infield.
Looks like another pinch hitter coming up. Amarista is going to pinch hit for Rosales. So back-to-back pinch hitters here. First Solarte, now it is Amarista. Amarista just returning from the DL yesterday. Look at Andy Green's bench now that has Christian Bethancourt on it, Travis Jankowski, and Hector Sanchez. And here comes Dave Roberts again after Amarista is introduced.
Dave Roberts is not signaled yet. Nice job.
So he will make the change. First and third, 2-1 Dodgers. pinch hitter coming up here as Amarista was introduced, so he is burned from the game. It'll be Christian Bethancourt. This is what he did last night coming off the bench to pinch hit. Andy Green is going to try to get him into as many games as he can. Offensively for sure, and he is now going to pinch hit with 1 out. Runners at first and third. New pitcher for the Dodgers, Adam Liberatore, comes into the game.
Well, how come I see
now what's going on? Amarista is back.
So he never
left.
He never pulled him back and said to the umpire, hey, Bethancourt's going to hit.
He went into the dugout. Gave the illusion that Bethancourt was going to be coming up, but he is on deck in the pitcher's spot. So Amarista will bat here. First and third. 1 out in the inning. Amarista will take a pitch high. So Coleman faced the 1 batter. That was Yangervis Solarte, who got to pop out to third base. Numbers for Amarista in 11 games. Activated on Wednesday. He's on the DL, the right hamstring strain. Fouled straight back, and it's a ball and a strike. Amarista did not start the year on the Major League roster. He was called up from AAA El Paso on the 10th of April.
Wonder if anything happens with Wallace here to maybe stay out of a double play. Very short lead at first.
Amarista squaring on the safety squeeze, fouls it back to the screen.
Pitch that was up. It's a shame he didn't get that bat. Okay, the runner checking the ball, getting that secondary lead at third base. If the ball is darted down towards the grass, bang, you're off and running. As you mentioned, Don, the safety squeeze.
1 ball, 2 strikes now to Amarista with 1 out, first and third. Padres trailing by a run here in the 7th. Amarista rolls it over, foul. Runner is on, responsible. The responsibility of the departed starter, Alex Wood. 6+, 4 hits for 91 pitches.
Boy, that line can change quickly, right, for Alex Wood if these runs come home.
Amarista fouls it off to the left side of play. 92 in that fastball. And the Dodgers lefty. Padres had first and third, nobody out. Now first and third with 1 out. Amarista fouls off another, and another fastball. Liberatore operating at 93 miles an hour with that pitch. One-two pitch again. Amarista lifts a fly ball to left field. Thompson moving over and back. will make the catch. Tagging at third base is Norris. Throw will be cut off, and this game will be tied. Sac fly for Amarista. Score is Norris, and the Dodgers and Padres are tied 2-2.
Perfect example of a hitter trying not to do too much. Lefty on lefty. Taking that ball exactly where it was pitched, away and deep enough, and Derek Norris will scamper home to tie it up. Very productive at bat for Alexei Amarista.
So now it'll be Bethancourt, who stands in here in the 7th inning with 2 down, and Brett Wallace at first base. 273, 4 homers, 8 runs batted in.
I'd like to see what happens here if he gets a fastball middle in, first pitch. Probably going to be a breaking ball.
Changed up instead.
Yep. Hey, after you've seen, the word travels quickly. After you've seen Bethancourt hit a fastball or a hanging breaking ball like he can, that's the right pitch by a pitcher, first pitch, pulling the string on him. Might see another one.
Bethancourt got fooled on that and went around.
And what do you do after you throw the first pitch change up, down and away? You throw another split change out in front of home plate. Very tough to hold up. Almost looked like a cricket pitch right there.
Yeah. Now Brett Wallace at first base, 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Padres have tied it up. Bethancourt takes it the other way, but foul. Adding in the pitcher's spot here. Last half of the 7th inning. Vargas has struck out twice tonight, this number 9 spot. And it is Christian Bethancourt pinch hitting here in the 7th. Up and away, not chasing that. A run that has scored, charged to the starter Alex Wood. So far touched for 2 runs, responsible for Wallace, who is at first base. Two and two. Wood cannot win it. He could lose it. Responsible for Wallace at first. And Vargas can't even watch.
He could win it.
The Padres can grab a lead right here. 2-2. Up and in, and a good at bat here for Bethancourt. I've been down 0-2. Full count now with the top of the order, John Jay, waiting on deck.
Okay, interesting situation here. Started him off with a cambio, went back to back. Do you have confidence in that pitch? Do you want to try to get him out of a well-located fastball? Looks like fastball away here. Changeup, he shook him off.
Yep.
Going with the changeup.
Bethancourt strikes out on it, and it ends the inning, but the Padres get the game-tying run. We're done with 7 tonight in San Diego, tied at 2.
that momentum. Hopefully they can capitalize on it like last night.
Nice job by Alexi Amarista already with the sacrifice fly. This thing's knotted at 2 in the top of the 8th inning. What more can I see on Padres Live, the post-game show, in addition to everything that happens out here. You're also going to hear from the manager, Andy Green. We've got some great highlights, too, from all around baseball as the full moon is rising. And here from Mark Grant and Don Orsillo. Gentlemen.
All right, Mike, thanks very much. Full moon, and we'll see if there is magic in it again tonight for the Padres. Ryan Buchter comes into the game now for the Padres.
Well, he's been lights out. Look at those splits. 0.45 against lefties, 175 against righties. His 22nd game, a minuscule .45 ERA. The strikeouts jump out at you. A little high in the walks, but overall, Ryan Buchter has been nails.
Kike Hernandez will pinch hit here in the pitcher spot and take the strike. Alex Wood in the spot, had been 0 for 2. Now the Padres defensively now with Amarista at shortstop, Solarte at second base. Now Buchter's numbers off the charts. Since April the 12th, 17 1/3, allowed no runs. 24 Ks, 9 walks. It's 1-1 pitch. That'll grab the outside corner. Hernandez didn't think so. Number is for Kike Hernandez. Foul back to the screen.
Hey, these relievers, they've been watching the game from the bullpen. They get a good idea of the strike zone from that vantage point out in left center field. So they know that there's some space off the plate given by Chris Guccione, the home plate umpire. So they're going to try to exploit that.
Hernandez, Utley, and Seager scheduled to bat in the inning. And Hernandez is out number 1 of the inning, elevated at 92, and he strikes out. Let's check in with Michelle.
Well, guys, there is absolutely no doubt that Ryan Buchter has been absolutely outstanding out of the bullpen this season. When I asked manager Andy Green about his ability and about how great he has been in his breakout year this season, he said there's always been a deep belief within the organization of his ability, and nobody could have foreseen any pitcher to be as successful as he has been and exceed the expectations the way he has. What do you guys think?
Absolutely. I mean, there's been players around the league, and thank you so much, Michelle. There's been players and there's been managers I've talked to that early on when they've seen what Ryan Buchter has done, they said, where did this kid come from?
Well, he has been terrific, and he has the first out here of the 8th inning. Chase Utley now batting, 0 for 2 with a walk.
I mean, only one game with Atlanta back in 2014. Signed in 2006 with the Nationals. Rookie ball, A-ball, Double-A, 3 years in Triple-A. And turning some heads and missing some bats here at the big league level, yo.
Fastball tonight, 93, 94. He struck out Hernandez on the high fastball for the first out of this inning. Padres shifting on the right side. '93, but up and in. Bottom of the 8th will feature the top of the Padres order: John Jay, Will Myers, and Matt Kemp. Anybody gets on, Melvin Upton Jr. will have a chance. Swing and a miss, and striking out is Utley. Back-to-back Ks for Buchter, 2 down.
You know, it's funny because I interviewed Ryan Buchter maybe about a week ago, and he said the guy that he looked up to watching baseball games was Chase Utley.
How about that?
And he just punched him out, and he's throwing 94 as well, and that's hot sauce. Coming right at you.
The Cholula flamethrower providing that hot sauce. 2 down in the 8th. Corey Seager flares it foul. He has grounded out twice and struck out on the night. Always a threat to go deep, though. 7 home runs on the year. Joe Blanton who had been up earlier, is back up again.
He's throwing a complete game down there.
Yes, he has.
Look at that, just pounding the zone. Quickly ahead 0-2. So many avenues you can go now.
Jansen blowing the save last night's game. 0-2 pitch. And that is strike 3. Nasty on the inside corner. Hernandez, Utley, and Seager all down by way of the K. Game tied at 2. The Bill Howe play of the game, and John Jay going and getting this off the bat of Yasiel Puig.
When we talked about how important that first step was, and it was apparent right there for John Jay, taking away possibly extra bases. That was nice.
Well, John Jay's going to lead it off here in the bottom of the 8th inning against a new pitcher and 4th of the night for the Dodgers, Joe Blanton.
Well, once again, the ERA over 3. We talked about it. A little high on the walk side, and almost a strikeout per innings pitch, but pretty good overall numbers on the splits. Below 200 righties and lefties for Joe Blanton. Starter, reliever, reliever, starter. One of those swing guys, possibly, that can do both.
John Jay, Will Myers, Matt Kemp anticipated here in the bottom of the 8th in this tie game. Jay got on last time with a walk as he takes strike 1. And on with the walk, scored the first Padres run of the night. That was back in the 6th inning. On a night when Alex Wood started this game and struck out 13. Will not be part of the decision.
You know, we saw those splits from Joe Blanton, Don, and combined, opponents only hitting 167. How about his whip? That's walks and hits to innings pitched. It's below 1, 0.92. That's doing some serious pitching.
Jay strikes out, biting in on it. That is the 15th strikeout for Dodgers pitching in this game.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
1 out in the 8th, and it brings up Will Myers. 15 strikeouts for Dodgers pitching. 13 by their starter Alex Wood. Adam Liberatore had a strikeout of his own, and now Joe Blanton does. Myers stands in. And a swing and a miss for strike 1. He's got 2 hits tonight, both singles to center and both off the starter Alex Wood. Following up a 2-hit night last night is Will Myers. It's time here and backs out.
You haven't picked the stick tonight, don't
I
you?
do indeed.
Hey, pretty good night for you.
Not bad.
I've got 3 points, right? 2 hits and a stolen base.
I haven't figured out the point system yet. Strike on the outside corner.
Well, for a hit, you get a point.
Okay.
For a double, you get 2. See where I'm going here?
Yeah.
Triples 3.
Oh, okay.
Home runs 4 plus a point for a run, so that's 5.
So that's how I won last night.
And an RBI, so that's 6 for a home run.
Could be a big night.
Mm-hmm.
One and two here to Myers.
Everything's away to Will Myers from Joe Blanton.
Kemp waiting on deck. Myers fouls it off. Offensive swing there. Down 1 and 2.
Pretty tight slider from Joe Blanton he's sporting tonight.
Signed as a free agent in January with the Dodgers. Second stint with Los Angeles. Had 10 starts with the Dodgers back in 2012. Outside, 2 and 2. Last year, splitting the year between the Royals and the Pirates. Best earned run average of his career. Ended the year between the two venues with a 2.84 earned run average. 2-2 pitch to Myers. In the air to right field. Back goes Puig onto the track in front of the wall. He'll make the catch. 2 down in the 8th as Myers gives it a ride the other way, but he's the second out of the inning.
Under it just a little bit too much, and is it off the end of the bat? No, it looks like it's down by the sweet spot, so under it just a little bit. This will give us a good look. Yeah, he got it on the sweet spot, just underneath it a little bit, and out in front just a little bit too much for the F9.
2 down in the 8th, and it brings up Matt Kemp. Strike 1. Kemp struck out in the 1st and in the 4th before the sacrifice fly in the 6th inning. You see Fernando Rodney getting ready for the top of the 9th inning. Tie game at home at the moment. Kemp on the ground and foul. Sac fly for Kemp in the 6th inning, picked up his 30th RBI.
Well, these Padre hitters definitely get a different look from Blanton. Pretty conventional, other than the Alex Wood, who's funky. Coleman, who throws across his body.
Swing and a miss, and Kemp down on strikes. Padres down in order in the 8th. We go to the 9th, tied 2-2. Brought to you by Tough Turtle Turf, the industry's only lifetime turf. By Petco, your complete pet store. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealer. Ryan Buchter strikes out the side in succession. Now the baseball handed off to Fernando Rodney.
And with the save out the window, with the game tied at home here in the ninth, Fernando will twirl the spheroid plateward. Hey, he reached a milestone the other day. Saturday night, 700th strikeout of his career. Recorded 2 saves. That doubleheader that you worked at Wrigley Field. 2 saves in one day, and there you see. Not a safe situation right here, tied, but great splits for the veteran right-hander Fernando Rodney.
He has got a deal with 3, 4, and 5 in the Dodgers order here in the ninth, and it starts with Justin Turner. Turner 0 for 3 in this game. Struck out, fouled out, grounded out. Padres pitching. They've retired the last 6 Dodgers in a row. There is strike 1. How incredible was Buchter in the 8th? Nasty.
Clutch, nasty, filthy.
95 from Rodney, still got it. That's where he's been operating this year. 95 with the fastball, then you get the changeup, 83, 84.
Big differential.
Huge.
Fastball in.
And a swing and a miss. And on the backswing, Norris gets it on the helmet. That hurt. Well, off the top.
Yeah, that hurts, folks. He might be wearing a helmet, but that'll rattle your feelings.
Low and away, and it is 2-2. Well, last night, Justin Turner with his 2nd home run of the year. Set off Brandon Maurer in the Petco porch in right. Here he is in a tie game, 2-2 in the 9th inning, leading it off. And taking a pitch outside at 94. Adrian Gonzalez, then Trace Thompson scheduled in the 9th. Thompson has already homered in this game. Outside, and a leadoff walk to begin things here in the 9th inning for the Dodgers. That was only the 2nd walk of the night allowed by Padres pitching. Well, the combination of Buchter and Rodney, and you start thinking about, are they all-star worthy so far in the year? Look at their numbers.
You know, the only thing that I think about, and we could probably do some research on this, but the last time that a middle reliever setup guy was named to an all-star team.
You got the starters, you got the closers. Very difficult to get guys in between.
And with the all-star game meaning something now, you're going to want the best closers. Have you got 4 or 5 closers on your team, right?
Right. Adrian Gonzalez, a 2-hit night. Both hits going against the shift into left field. Strike call. Shifting in the infield, but keeping it tight to the infield. And a ground ball right side. Solarte will go to second for 1. Wallace got to go to first, and he does. Double play. Always strange when you got the third baseman on the right side of the infield like you do with Wallace, but he makes it look very easy, and they turn the double play.
Couple of factors here. The ball hit sharply. Solarte knows that he just needs to throw a strike to Wallace because Adrian Gonzalez does not have blazing speed, does not get down the line well. Make sure that foot is on the back for the force play, and that is some kind of nice right there.
And you saw Turner going in there pretty hard, staying close to the bag, but Wallace not used to jumping out of the way of that.
Yep.
Around the bag at second base. Nicely turned 2 down after the leadoff walk. It's been erased, and here is Trayce Thompson. He'll take strike 1. Back to the gas.
Nothing like the 4-5-3 double play.
Thompson grounding out in the second, grounding out in the fourth. Prior to that, 2-run home run in the seventh. Now the Dodgers closer is up in the pen. First walk-off home run against him coming last night. Dave Roberts would like to get him back in another safe situation as quickly as possible. It was Upton who took him out of the yard. 2-1. Home run earlier for Thompson, his 7th home run of the year. Supplying the runs the Dodgers have in this game. Tied at 2 in the 9th. To the screen, and it's even at 2-2.
Looked like he tried to take that ball that way, even though it was middle in.
Maeda and Ray here tomorrow. We play day baseball in the finale. What's been a fun series between the Padres and the Dodgers. Low for ball 3. Next pitch will be the 15th of this 9th inning for Rodney, with Jock Peterson waiting on deck. Thompson, it's a little number in front of the plate. Norris hops out, clears the runner, and throws. No, off the glove of Myers. And he was running inside the line. He's going to be out. Blocking the path of that throw from Norris. It's going to bring Dave Roberts out to argue it, because right down the line made the throw impossible for Norris. And because he ran inside the line, he is out. Trayce Thompson getting confirmation from David Rackley, the first base umpire, and clearly you can see him inside the line. Even though Myers couldn't catch it, Thompson running inside all the way. So we head to the bottom of the 9th. Last night's hero, Melvin Upton Jr., will lead it off when we come back to Petco Park. Can he do it again? We'll find out. So here we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Joe Blanton back on the mound. Melvin Upton Jr. in on the right side. Strike one. 0 for 3 night tonight for Upton. Reached on the catcher's interference in the 2nd, then struck out in the 4th and again in the 6th. Swing and a miss. No one running away from him again.
Yeah, it seems like that slider from Joe Blanton is his go-to pitch.
Since coming in, he's thrown 14 pitches, 12 for strikes. That was just off the outside edge. Upton, Norris, and Wallace, 4, 5, and 6 for San Diego here in the 9th. Bounces in, and Blanton's looking at the landing spot. A little slip there at the end. Action in the pen as J.P. Howell is now up. Deuces are wild. Score 2-2. The count 2-2. Good. Oh no! Outside corner for strike 3. He was about to compliment Upton on the good at bat, but Guccione says it's strike 3.
It's the slider.
Wow. Third strikeout for Blanton, and Melvin Upton Jr. didn't like it at all.
Yeah, pitch number 5. And Melvin, don't get tossed. Can't afford you to get tossed in a tie game late like this.
One down for Derek Norris. Strike 1. Peppering that outside corner.
Looked like that slider was indeed right on that outside corner, huh?
He's been using it a lot.
Yep.
4 home runs on the year for Derek Norris. On the ground, foul.
Hey, nice combination. 2 seamers down and in, sliders down and away.
Still miffed. Norris strikes out. Back-to-back Ks for Blanton. He's had 4 since coming into the game. How about 18 strikeouts tonight for Dodgers pitching with 2 outs here in the 9th?
Yep. Well, there you see the scorecard. Position players Jankowski and backup catcher, third catcher Sanchez. Plenty of pitching left.
Alex Wood, the starter, had 13 Ks. Liberatore came in. He had a K. And Joe Blanton has had 4. So 18 strikeouts tonight for Dodgers pitching with 2 outs here in the 9th.
Looks like Rick Honeycutt doing a little scouting report to Joe Blanton with Brett Wallace coming up to the plate. He'll be righty on lefty.
Wallace tonight is lined out to second, struck out looking, and singled to left. Ball 1.
That's the first changeup we've seen from Joe Blanton.
Stays away, falls behind 2-0. And has faced 5 hitters since coming in. Has struck out 4. Has gotten a fly out mixed in. There's 2 outs in the 9th inning. Wallace fouls it off himself. All the runs in this game charged to the starters, Alex Wood and Cesar Vargas. Battle of the bullpens right now with 2 outs here in the 9th.
Good layoff there. That's a very enticing pitch for a left-handed hitter to swing at. Looks like it's going to be a fastball in the inside corner. And it's that slider that ends up down by that back foot for a ball.
Solarte hoping to get a chance. Ball 4, and Wallace is aboard. He'll head down to first base with 2 down here in the 9th. A 2-out walk and a good at bat there by Wallace. So 2 down, Wallace at first base, and here is Yangervis Solarte. Activated tonight before the ball game. Pinch hit in the 7th inning, 0 for 1 on a pop out to third baseman Justin Turner. Ball 1. Solarte hits it in the air to left center field. Back goes his center fielder Peterson, shy of the track to reel it in and to end the 9th inning. We head for the 10th. It's bonus baseball tonight from San Diego, tied at 2.
Through an inning, he struck out 1 Giant. Remember that 1 outing in Milwaukee on Saturday, 4 innings. Did a great job saving that bullpen. And there you see the numbers. 20th game for the left-hander. A little high on the walks.
Padres going to the shift here on the right side with Jock Peterson leading it off here in the 10th.
But what it'll do is face Peterson, the lefty, and then you got Puig, and then switching around Yasmani Grandal to the right side.
Well, there are the records. Dodgers 3-1, Padres 2-0 in extra inning games. The Dodgers are 2-0 on the road in extra inning games. Peterson 1 for 3 tonight, and fouls it off.
I love free baseball, bonus baseball.
Absolutely.
You pay for 9, you get an extra one. Life is good.
Single for Peterson was a bunt single back in the 2nd inning. Time called here. Plate umpire Chris Cuccione trying to get the attention at hand to make sure he didn't deliver the pitch. Peterson waves at that pitch. Badly fooled by hand.
Oh, it wasn't even close. It's almost as if Peterson took that hack, knowing in his mind, I'm going to swing no matter what. But also, it might be out of the hand, looking like that fastball, and the sharp break of that breaking ball. He commits and cannot hold up.
Did you say out of the hand?
I did. I see where you're going.
0-2 pitch. Popped up foul off to the left, out of play. Here's a pitch out of Brad Hand's hand. Jock Peterson, Yasiel Puig, Yasmani Grandal here in the 10th. Inside. Buzzed him with a fastball at 93. Brad Hand has that too.
Part of the All Anatomy team. Barry Foote, Raleigh Fingers.
Bounces in, 2-2. That's all you got. Is that it? Anybody else?
Thinking. Did you hear wood burning? Or smell wood burning, rather? Hear wood burning.
Look like you're in pain.
The wheels are grinding.
Peterson fouls it back to the screen. Hangs here at 2-2.
Just going to say that was a pretty good pitch to rip at. Elroy face.
Really?
Yeah. He threw a split finger fastball, forkball back in the Pittsburgh Pirates. Back in like the 50s.
Full count now. There is Yasiel Puig waiting on deck here in the 10th.
Shin Soo Choo.
Huh?
Shin.
Oh. Ball 4, and down to first base goes Peterson to begin the 10th inning. Hand walks him. Second straight inning, the Padres have walked the leadoff hitter.
Well, didn't miss by much. But now trouble in Yasiel Puig, and we know the power, the opposite field power of the Dodger right fielder.
Lead runner on in the 10th inning. Puig standing in. 0 for night tonight for Puig. Striking out, flying out, grounding out. Strike one.
Well, we mentioned the opposite field power last night. Carlos Villanueva taking the high pitch, getting extended, going to right center field. That's you're going to go away, you better keep it down to Puig or go way up in a way because he will chase. We know that.
Low throw and almost threw it away. Myers with a good play coming off the bag to retrieve that. Big swing there for Puig.
He had one thing in mind there as Brad Hand trying to pound him inside. If you're going to go in there, you have to be aggressive with it and pound it in there. Puig only hitting 233 off of lefties. That's getting that bat around. Looked like Derek Norris was setting up inside, going back in there, maybe to bounce a breaking ball.
Shoots it foul off to the right. Hangs here at 0-2. Maeda and Ray here tomorrow in the finale of the series. Day baseball from Petco Park in San Diego. Maeda 3-3 with a nifty 2.87 earned run average. Ray 3-2 with a 4.37 ERA. Oh-2. Puig strikes out. Fastball at 93 gets him for the first out of the 10th.
Well, I'm not so sure that's exactly where Brad Hand wanted to throw it because this ball looks like it leaks over the heart of the plate. Derek Norris was set up inside and look where he catches it. That's just a straight challenge. Swing and a miss. Big out for Brad Hand. Give that kid a hand.
1 on, 1 out. Here is Yasmani Grandal. 0 for 3 in the game. Has grounded out, struck out twice. 1 for 1 against Hand in his career was a home run. Remember the toss to first, and back is Peterson. That'll drop in for a strike. There's the home run off Hand earlier in the season at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, if you throw him a breaking ball on the right side for a strike that speeds up his bat, I think he could be really eating them with fastballs. Down and away, up and in, time up a little bit.
It's like Howie Kendrick has come out on deck here for the Dodgers. He would bat in the 9 spot, the pitcher's spot. Grandal hits it on the ground right side. Solarte will go to second. They get the lead runner there. Back to first, not in time. So a nice play by Solarte as they're able to get Peterson at second, 2 down in the inning.
Well, that ball not really hit that crisply, so to turn 2, getting the lead runner, that's the main thing, but a nice turn by Alexei. As Peterson slides in.
2 down, runner at first, and here is Howie Kendrick to pinch hit. .221 average, no homers, 7 runs batted in. Blanton gave Dave Roberts and the Dodgers 2 innings of relief, 4 strikeouts, walked a batter, they 7 hitters. Kendrick will take ball 1, a tad low.
Okay, speaking of anatomy, guys.
Yeah.
We lost a good one. Jim Ray Hart, former Giant. Got a chance to meet Jim. We were coaches together, Giants fantasy camp about 10 years ago. Good man. Baseball lost a good one there. Just recently passed away.
Outside for ball 2. Chase Utley on deck. 2 down here in the 10th inning. Grandal at first base, held on over there by Myers. There is Chase Utley, top of the Dodgers order. Swing and a miss for Kendrick.
I'll tell you what, the bullpen tonight for both clubs has been doing a number. Joe Blanton really sticks out. 2 innings, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. Coleman did a nice job. Liberatore, and of course Buchter, Rodney, and now Brad Hand. 1 out away.
Kendrick with a swing and a miss, and Hand battles back to even it up at 2-2.
Doing a great job outside corner, down at the knees, below the knees.
Swing and a miss, and Kendrick strikes out. Brad Hand gets his way through the top of the 10th. Padres coming up in the bottom of the 10th. It'll be Amarista who will lead it off here for the Padres to begin things in the bottom of the 10th inning, and they'll do it against new pitcher J.P. Howell.
Well, J.P. Howell is a finesse type pitcher. He does not throw hard at all. Mid-80s, maybe 86, 87. Turns the ball over quite a bit, and you see the splits. 3.33 against lefties, 2.67 against righties, and the high ERA. And that's, once again, noting that the Dodger bullpen the last 16 games has not been pitching well. And Don, in a point like this in a ball game, the one thing that hitters cannot fall into is trying to do it all themselves. You know, you get home run happy. You're at home. It's exciting to walk off home run, but a walk here, hey, a miscue there can lead to a victory as well.
The last time the Padres are able to do it, and the only time they were able to do it, you got to go back to 1986. Wynn and Bochy going the 2 nights on walk-offs, as it'll be Amarista to lead it off here for San Diego in the 10th. Nice job tonight by Joe Blanton, 2 innings. A walk, 4 strikeouts. Dodgers bullpen that has not been very good has been good tonight so far in 3 1/3 innings. Ellis is now going to take over behind the dish for Grandal. So A.J. Ellis, who caught last night's game, he started it, comes into the game.
Well, he's getting that hose loose, huh? Playing
Yes.
catch with the third baseman.
All the 5th pitcher used tonight by the Dodgers. Amarista, of course, when he came in to pinch in at a sac fly that tied the game. Scored Derek Norris from third base in the 7th inning to tie it 2-2. Here we are in the 10th. On the ground, back to Howell, who spears it and fires to first. Made that grab on the way down, it appeared.
Oh, you can hear that ball slap that glove all the way up here. He must have got that right in the pocket of that glove.
Padres are not going to use a pinch hitter for Hand. They're going to keep him in the game.
Well, the only 2 left are Jankowski and Sanchez, correct?
That's what I have.
Yep.
So Hand bats here with 1 out. He will take strike 1. Top of the order, John Jay waiting on deck. And fouls it off. Here's Sanchez with a bat in hand. Foul back to the screen, still 1-2.
Well, the only reason why I can think that Brad Hand, he's the last left-hander used, right? And you look at next inning for the Dodgers, Utley and Seager lead it off. So you keep him in the game to face the 2 lefties since Buchter has already been used. Just a thought.
There's John Jay, top of the order, waiting on deck. On the ground and diving at third base as Turner gets up and throws out Hand. That looked like it was going to get into left field for a base hit, but Justin Turner comes up with a nifty play. 2 down.
Well, he gave it the old try, and with Turner in a little bit, cutting down the range, but hey, just putting the ball in play and taking a chance. We always talk about pitchers trying to avoid the strikeout and make some contact. You never know where that pelota might go.
2 down here in the 10th inning, and John Jay coming up here. 3 strikeouts in the game, a walk, he scored a run. Did he go? Yes, he did, according to Alfonso Marquez. Outfield playing very deep. Peterson in center, Thompson in left, Puig in right. That's outside. Ellis tried to bring it back to the corner.
Yeah, big area out in right center field, as you mentioned, Don. And also, look at how far back they're playing in center. And in left field playing deep as well.
3-1 now to Jay. Trying to find his way on with 2 outs here in the 10th. Will Myers waiting on deck. Strike called, and that was not a strike. Jay on the ground and foul. Two outs here in the 10th inning. 2 runs, 4 hits, an error for the Dodgers. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Padres. On the ground, down the first base line, a foul ball. Retrieved by Gonzalez, but a foul ball.
Got a right-hander up for the Dodgers.
Strike 3 call. So Howell is through the 10th. We head to the 11th inning, tied 2-2. At home at Comerica Park in Detroit.
Yeah, what a treat for the professor. We wish him well, and a Michigander himself, Central Michigan grad, being a Tiger fan, wanted to play the outfield for the Tigers, but he always says, you know, this kid named Al Kaline came along and took my job.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, he was pretty good. And working with another Tiger great, Kirk Gibson, today. So I hope the professor had some fun today in Detroit Rock City.
Tigers won that game 5-4 today. Chase Utley leading it off here for the Dodgers in the 11th inning. Brad Hand back on the mound. And he looked like he went. He did. And it's 0-2.
If he hits it, it's a double. Does that convince you?
Yeah, I think you win. Utley, Seager, and Turner expected to bat in the inning. There is no action in the Padres pen. And, of course, hitting for himself. So we knew he was coming back at least for the first couple, and looks like he's going to be out there this inning. Mentioned the 4 innings that he gave the Padres in Milwaukee. Amazing effort. He had said that he had done that before, and of course a starter at one point. But a guy who had come off the bench and out of the bullpen into a game for 4 innings for Andy Green, which was a huge part of that game in Milwaukee. This is on the outside corner, I guess. We'll take it. There's out one, number 1 of the 11. It's been a wide strike zone tonight for Chris Guccione.
And you know what? It's been consistent both ways for the Padres and the Dodgers. And I'm really surprised he got that call with the way that pitch was handled, because it kind of brought it out of the zone a little bit. Pitch number 4.
3rd strikeout for Hand. Corey Seager, who is 0 for 4 tonight, an 11-game hitting streak coming into this game, does not have a hit tonight. And a ground ball. Lunging is Solarte. Throw to first in time. Nice play. Yangervis Solarte.
That is a big league hang with him. I mean, the reason why I kind of giggle a little bit is because the ball's hit so sharply. It should be a base hit, but with the shift, it's just comical to me. I have to laugh.
2 down on the 11th. Two for 4 in his career against Brad Hand.
Because you know hitters are just steaming when that happens.
No, you hit it well.
And I guess that's why it just adds to my amusement.
Because hitters are feeling that way.
Yeah.
Crank foul off to the right, evens it at 1-1 to Turner. 2 homers this year for Turner. Outside corner. So Hand has thrown 27 pitches since coming into this game, 19 for strikes. And ahead here, 1-2. Turner hits a fly ball to center field. John Jay going back at the track to make the catch. Right in front of the wall as Turner gives it a ride. He's out number 3. And we head to the bottom of the 11th inning, tied 2-2. The 11th inning, and of course Matt Kemp with a sac fly to right field. First run of the game for the Padres, but quickly answering at the top of the 7th inning. This 2-run home run for Trace Thompson made it 2-1. Then Amarista with a sac fly to left field. Derek Norris would tag and tie what turns out to be the ball game. 2-2. That was in the bottom of the 7th inning. Now it's on to the bottom of the 11th. It'll be Myers, Upton, and Norris to bat in the inning, and they'll do it against Chin-Wei Sao, who comes into the game. His second appearance, first appearance of this series. Sao recalled by the Dodgers on Thursday, made his season debut, crossing a scoreless 9th inning on Thursday. Pitched in 17 games at AAA Oklahoma City this season, 1-1 with a 3.31 ERA. Made a total of 5 appearances for the Dodgers last year, 1-1 with a 10.29 earned run average. So it is 2, 3, and 4 for the Padres here in the 11th inning. Rally caps in place.
Anything for a run, any old kind of a run.
Myers will take strike 1. So Howell ended up going an inning with a strikeout. 19 strikeouts in the game for Dodgers pitching. Myers fouls it off to the right out of play.
Crazy motion from Chin-Wei Sao. Getting up on top, high 3/4. A changeup grip right there of some sort.
Adam Myers 0-2. '94 from him that time, missing 1-2. No action in the Padres pen. Looks like hand may go a while if necessary.
Hitting that leg with his glove, almost like a timing mechanism, enabling him to tell himself when to go forward, not rush. Some pitchers will do just that.
Myers on the ground and through into left field. A base hit to start this 11th inning. Good start to the bottom of the 11th. Bounding ball through the left side, and for Myers, that's 3 hits in the game tonight.
Well, it's a battle. Like I said, sometimes hitters get it in their mind to where, yes, I want to end this thing right now with a home run. Well, the base hit here, a wild pitch. Extra base hit, first and third action.
Now Matt Kemp 0 for 3 in the game with a sacrifice fly, picking up his 30th RBI of the year. Sal has been a 93-94 since coming in.
And no doubles defense in the outfield for Los Angeles. Every outfielder about maybe 8 feet, 10 feet from that foul, from that warning track. The only thing over their head is going to be a home run.
Swing there for Kemp. 1-1. This was a pitcher's duel tonight and has continued to be really by the bullpen.
Yep.
Both the runs for both teams charged to the starters, Vargas and Wood. Kemp lifts it in the air to right field. Puig out there will make the catch for the first out of the 11th inning. Unable to advance Myers at first base. Bring up Melvin Upton Jr. 0 for 4 in the ball game tonight, striking out 3 times. Albert Pujols, the last to do it. June 4th and 5th of 2011.
Remember, it was a cutter out of the hand of Kenley Jansen that Upton Jr. sent it on its way for the game winner last night. Sal's starting them off with an off-speed pitch.
Two 2-0. Myers started the inning with a single to left. Kemp flying out to right. Now Upton ahead in the count, 2-0. Look out, 3-0. Derek Norris on deck.
One that's getting away. It looks like a maybe a little cutter that just didn't get it out there in front enough.
Yeah, that was only at 89.
Yeah. I've seen 95 on that board. I've seen 89, like you just said on that last pitch. That one looked like that slow motion. Looked like he worked around it a little bit, indicating either a slider that got left up there or a cutter.
Green light on the 3-0, and it's grounded foul. Melvin Upton Jr. last night with a walk-off home run. Second of the year, 6th of his career. Here he is in the bottom of the 11th inning with Myers at first base. For the first, and Myers kind of flopping back towards the bag. Melvin Upton Jr. to deep left field. He did it last night. He will not get it done tonight. It's caught at the wall. Thompson makes the grab up against the wall. Myers at first base, and Melvin thought it was gone, and so did I.
I'm right there with you. Got in on him just a little bit and got under it just a little bit too much.
On a summer day here at Petco Park, that's gone. 2 down in the 11th inning. Now Derek Norris. Myers takes off. Here's the throw to second base, and that's going to not be in time. So into scoring position with 2 down.
Oh, pretty good jump. Almost looked like he was kind of guessing there. Left just as Sal was lifting that leg maybe a little bit early, enabling him to slide in safely. Now the infielders got a job to do on a grounder, a roller. They're diving.
Frame there by Ellis. On a strike now. 2-0. Norris with a double in the 7th inning scored the tying run. Ahead 2-0. High strike call. with a good lead at second base. High for ball 3. And Brett Wallace waiting on deck here for the Padres. There are 2 outs in the 11th inning.
Derek Norris can just play a little game of pepper on that right side. Sure, Gonzalez is playing way deep at first base. Utley playing deep as well, but still, there's a big hole on that right side. 18 hopper to the right side would be nice. Right about cheer. You don't have to overswing. We've seen Derek Norris shorten up the swing a little bit and take it to right field.
Good hitters count here, 3-1. Norris will take ball 4 and head down to first base. So first and second now with 2 down. Brett Wallace coming up. Wallace tonight has been on base twice. Singled in the 7th, walked in the 9th. Here he is in the 11th with the game in the balance. Ball 1. All of a sudden now, getting tight behind the plate is Chris Guccione.
You think?
Two and 0. Started the inning with a single. Kemp fly to right. Upton took it to the track and the wall for out number 2. Myers would steal second base. Norris with a walk. Runners at first and second. Wallace fouls it off to the left, and it's 2-1.
Well, Sal's got that fastball 94, 95. He's got that cutter like 88, 89.
And Hervis Solarte waiting on deck. Sal coming into the game here in the 11th inning. Upton thought he had him out of the yard. Look out. Watch your face. 3-1. Right at it.
Hey, watch the soup coolers there. Coming in hot.
You got a real good look.
I think you could read Robert D. Manfred Jr. on that last pitch.
Ball 4, and this will load him up. Back-to-back walks allowed by Sal here in the 11th.
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about earlier when I made the point about one guy doing it all himself. Being very patient, drawing 2 walks and passing it out to the next guy. And wouldn't it be appropriate, Yangervis Solarte today coming back from the DL? Listen to this crowd.
The pitching coach out there talking to Sal, who has walked back-to-back batters, and the winning run 90 feet away in Will Myers. He's had trouble throwing strikes. You need to be patient against him here if you're Solarte.
Yep.
89 average for Solarte in this spot. Ball one.
Whoa!
Very high and almost to the backstop. Ellis coming out of the crouch to reel that in. Sal is getting more wild as time goes on.
Yo. Wow. Squeezing that baseball a little tightly right now, huh?
Ball three. 3-0 the count. He's walked back-to-back base runners here in the 11th inning. And now has fallen behind. Solarte 3-0. Ball four, Padres win! A new meaning to walk-off win. The walk to Solarte. Walking in is Myers, and the Padres win! Think he was taken all the way, Mud? He stepped out.
You think? All the pressure on Sal. Ball four and a dandy.
For the second straight night, the Padres can celebrate a walk-off win. Home run last night, a walk tonight.
And welcome back, Yangervis Solarte.
That hand is going to get the win as Sal will take the loss in this game, a game that takes 3 hours and 49 minutes. And the Padres have won this series, winning last night's game and winning tonight. Send it down to Michelle.
Yangervis, your first career walk-off, and the day that you come back from the DL, how does it feel?
I feel really, really excited. Oh my God. Nice going back. Here we go, Padre.
Second straight walk-off win for this team in 2 consecutive nights. What does that say about the resilience of this team?
Hey, I'm really excited. Just wait for my time, you know. I take a couple balls, we won. That's important.
Thank you so much, Don.
All right, Michelle, thanks very much. A nice victory tonight for the Padres. They win it 3-2 in dramatic fashion tonight as they get it done for the second straight night. We send it to Mike Pomeranz.
And when we see you on the post-game show, we'll show you everything that happened. You'll hear from Andy Green. We've got fireworks. Oh, yeah. And we also have a social hour.